some suspension.
I hope so.
The hooks are going to be through his buttocks, he said.
So.
Yeah.
All right, Justin Baldani's legal team plans to launch a website sharing evidence to counter Blake Lively's claims of sexual harassment or retaliation on It Ends With Us.
It's amazing how nuclear sick I got of this story. And it's really not that old, this story.
No. In response to Lively's December 20th complaint, Baldani's team released footage showing the actors joking on set, including moments Lively referenced in her accusations. The video shared online shows Lively and Baldani filming a slow-motion dance scene for It Ends With Us with the actors joking out of character. In the footage, Lively jokes about possibly getting spray tan on Baldani, who laughs and responds, "It smells good." This video is seemingly meant to push back on Lively's claim that Baldani made inappropriate advances during the scene. He recently filed a $400 million lawsuit against Lively and Ryan Reynolds, alleging defamation and extortion. Lively's team maintains her claims are supported by concrete facts, calling the situation a case of illegal harassment and retaliation. But there's more. Blake's team has criticized Justin for releasing footage to the public instead of presenting it in court, calling it another unethical attempt to manipulate the public. They claim the video actually supports Lively's allegations of inappropriate on-set behavior, including unwanted physical contact and remarks which occurred without consent or an intimacy coordinator.
So there are parties within both camps that are suggesting this all could be resolved with bare-knuckle boxing.
Okay, why not? What's going on this weekend here in Philly? Lively's team emphasized her visible discomfort in the video, stating any woman who has been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize Ms. Lively's discomfort. Baldani's team denied the allegations, asserting the footage shows professionalism and mutual respect, and announced plans to release more materials to refute her claims.
So any evidence comes out and it said this clearly establishes this by one side, and the other said no, it clearly establishes the other way, and so that's how it's going to go back and forth until they finally get into court.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of court, New York State Senator Anthony Palumbo is reintroducing Carolyn's Law, which would allow families to petition the court for visitation rights with loved ones under guardianship. And Palumbo apparently spoke with TMZ, sharing that the law would require guardians to justify blocking visits within 10 days, ensuring families have a legal path to see their loved ones. Now, this isn't coming from nowhere. Palumbo is reportedly concerned about Wendy Williams' case. New York's guardianship system needs to be overhauled, he said, to protect some of the state's most vulnerable residents from forced isolation and provide them with the ability to see loved ones and friends. The state senator hopes the attention on Williams' situation will push lawmakers to act on the proposal, which he first introduced in 2022, and notes that since then his office has been fielding tons of messages from concerned citizens highlighting the need for reform.
Seems like another issue that could be resolved with bare-knuckle boxing. But I'll say this. You heard the audio of Wendy Williams, and so that's a moment in time, but she seemed pretty lucid.
Yeah.
And then Harry Levin, TMZ?
Yeah.
He apparently conducted an hour-and-a-half interview with her. Charlemagne the God was on the line as well. But apparently, he said, and he's saying this, he says she was every bit as cogent and Wendy that he has known for years.
Right.
So I to me, Preston, this seems to be, it's kind of a terrifying situation. If someone can get the legal curtains drawn on you and they're barring access, I mean, somebody with a nefarious plan or someone who doesn't really have your best interest at heart could really take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the idea of having other eyes on you is good.
It's a gray area, too, because, I mean, obviously, dude's not a doctor. He can't actually, he can say that this is my impression, but he doesn't have the, the credentials to back it up. But then there's also the other side of this, too. Let's say you have someone under guardianship who is not mentally, stable, and you're trying to prevent
somebody from coming in and
or a toxic person, who can come in and influence them in a certain way that it's weird, man. It's a case by case thing.
It's tough.
But I think this is a good idea.
I do.
Yeah.
That you have to present a case that says this is why this person can't visit.
What's your
them,
story?
right?
If not, bare knuckle boxing.
I just think of that movie that came out a couple of years ago with the retirement home.
Yes,
and
with Yeah, she's great. The actress.
Yeah, I know who you're
you
talking
recommended
about.
it. I watched it.
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she takes over that system and has people.
She exploits it.
Takes people under her guardianship and then steals all their money and just goes through all these legal loopholes to keep doing that. It was a scary ass movie, man.
I care a lot.
I care a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a messed up movie, man. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening to us. But yeah, I think it's. It sounds like a good idea.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the case where you can have more eyes on someone, at least the review process will help.
Yeah.
Or bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah. So Justin Bieber has clarified some of his recent Instagram activity. The singer appeared to unfollow his wife, Hailey Bieber, at one point.
What?
But he said it was because his account was hacked. So someone went on my account and unfollowed my wife.
How many times has your account been hacked?
I mean, really? Yeah. Is it?
He quickly.
I heard you saying some disparaging things about Hailey Bieber, and I didn't think it was you.
He quickly refollowed Haley, by the way. And earlier in the week, he also sang his wife's praises, calling her the greatest woman I have ever and will ever know, by the way.
Somebody is trying to hack into my email, and it's an email address that I don't even use, but like every day I get a password reset email.
We get bombarded. So
Really?
apparently after the holidays, so I've been getting a lot. The one I've been getting most frequently is the Facebook account, which I never use. I never post on Facebook.
Yeah.
I have it so I can use my Meta headset. So, and then I can live stream on Instagram. So and then the other one I get is the password reset for Instagram and for Twitter, which is
Really?
completely fraudulent.
You don't need Facebook to live stream on Instagram, though, Steve.
You do if you're going through
Headset?
Yeah, through Ecamm.
Oh, all
The
right.
program I use.
Casey, I've been getting all day today calendar invites from you for scheduling stuff. So good news, we're gonna have Dr. Mike on the show on Thursday, December 5th. All of this stuff that all of these emails, I'm getting calendar invites from you from last year, and they've all showed up today. And then calendar acceptance from you, Preston, from all last year. If it got clogged in the pipeline somewhere, and they're showing up today.
Wow. All right.
Did you
It's
cut them?
cray.
Maybe it's the same person that's hacking Justin Bieber's account that's doing that. I don't know. But by the way, he has 295 million followers. So maybe somebody does actually want to hack his account. Let's see here. Judi Dench. Dame Judi Dench's eyes are getting progressively worse. Last year it was revealed that the legendary actor suffered from macular degeneration, which of course causes one's vision to deteriorate. She had explained that she can't even attend events alone anymore. She says that someone always has to be with me on red carpets because of her vision loss. She said, "I'm not good at that at all. Not at all, nor would I be now. And now, fortunately, I don't have to be now," she stated, joking that she has no eyesight. The condition has caused Dench to find workarounds as she continues to perform at the age of 90, by the way. In an earlier interview, she explained, "I've had to find another way of learning lines and things, which is having great friends of mine repeat them to me over and over and over again." So that's how she's learning. But
A lot of these people talk about the device called the earworm, which is when you get up there and you say you can't read the cards, you can't, or you're on set, or Bruce Willis. Now, obviously, that was a different case. But they actually have a little tiny transmitter in their ear, and people read the lines to them, and they recite them. Yeah.
okay. All right, so the Razzie nominations are out.
Yay.
Drum roll.
So do we go through that?
No.
Do we
you
go
wanna
through that here or save it for later? What do you think?
You know, well, how much you got left in just regular entertainment news?
I
'Cause
got, got lots of regular
So
stuff.
let's hold it for later.
Okay, we'll do that in a little bit because we got some room in our schedule today.
And that might actually line up with something else that we were talking about.
Okay.
As a potential topic.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So it's official. Trevor Noah will be returning as the host of the 67th Annual Grammy Awards.
He did a good job.
Yep,
I think last time he did a pretty good job.
It'll be the 5th straight year of hosting for him. The ceremony will take place February 2nd at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. And will be broadcast live on CBS, as well as be made available for live streaming on demand and on Paramount Plus.
At the Things Remembered Arena.
Is that store still
Wouldn't it be
exist?
great if that had a resurgence? They are still around.
Yeah.
Things Remembered is still around. Whenever I need to get anything engraved, which is very rarely,
Right.
that's the first
Things
thing that comes
Remembered.
up.
Yo,
Yeah.
and they're pretty good at it.
Yeah, they are.
They're
better
good at
be.
the engraving, and yeah.
Steve, they have not announced the naming rights for the new arena in South Philly.
There you go.
Nor have they announced the naming because Wells Fargo is leaving the Wells Fargo Center.
I've heard it is the Kathy Romano Collection Arena.
I see.
Yeah.
I can hear Matt Cord now. Welcome to the Things Remembered Arena.
Remember?
Could you imagine?
Yes.
You're right. From the Hickory Farms Arena.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Wait, there's got to be another from the Pier 1 Imports Arena.
From the Lane Bryant Arena.
From the I Goldberg. Is that what is it?
Hi, Goldberg.
From the Heckingers Arena.
It's not going to be Pier 1. They went out of business.
I know, but I want him to come back for crying out loud.
I did like Pier 1.
I did too.
I still have so many Christmas decorations from them, and it makes me sad.
What was the other place that had a store right on Main Street, Manioc? It was another
Restoration Hardware.
Restoration Hardware is a fan of.
They're still around. They have one in
They're-
King of
yeah.
Prussia.
Do they?
Yeah, they're still.
Is it next to Things Remembered?
No, it's not. But Pier 1 Imports, I still have my nightstand is still from Pier 1.
Did it? And you got a chair one time, and you were so angry at the price of it.
Oh yeah. It was overpriced, man. Pier 1
Now
was
singing the
overpriced.
national anthem, Preston's Chair.
It's not like Pottery Barn overpriced
No.
or Crate and Barrel overpriced, but it was overpriced
Right.
for sure.
I'd never heard of Pier 1 until I saw Blues Brothers.
Oh yeah,
in the mall.
It's one of the stores in the mall.
This mall's
Disco
got
pants and
everything.
haircuts. New Oldsmobiles are in early this year.
I wonder if they're still online.
Pier 1 Imports. All right, so I have other entertainment stories to get to. So in the new movie Opus, John Malkovich plays Moretti, a reclusive pop star making a comeback. And Io Edeberry plays Ariel Ekton, a journalist that Moretti invites to spend the weekend at his compound to participate in an exclusive listening experience for his new album. Surrounded by celebrities and fans who act progressively more odd, Edeberry's character begins to think that the weekend may be more than just a listening experience. And there's other faces that you'll recognize, like Juliette Lewis, that are in the movie as well. But it's a thriller, supposed to be. I don't know if there's a murder, but something weird, cultish is going on.
So we've seen things like it, but I like what they're doing with it. Did you watch the trailer?
I did.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yep, we shall see. Netflix and Shondaland are celebrating Valentine's Day with a Bridgerton Season 4 fan event on February 14th. The event will feature Bridgerton stars Luke Thompson and Yiran Ha, as well as showrunner Jess Brunell. And it will be hosted by Golda Rochevelle.
There should be a Shondaland amusement park.
The event will spotlight Benedict Bridgerton's romantic journey and will apparently feature some exciting Season 4 updates. The big event will stream live on Tudum.com and Shondaland.com. What is it?
Tudum. That's the
Netflix sound?
Netflix name. Yes, Tudum. So that's the name of the network.
By the way, I went on to a streaming service I had never heard of before over the weekend. So I wanted to find the movie The Substance.
Yes.
And so I went on to, I had to go into Amazon Prime in order to rent it. And then it took me to Mubi or something.
Yes.
What is it?
That's the company that put up some of the funding. When I got the preview copy of The Substance, it came through Mubi. M-U-B-I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like Tubi, but
But I can't find it. So the only way to
You get an app.
to movie was through the Amazon Prime, and then I ordered it, and I watched the movie, and I got done with it, and I wanted to go watch part of it again, and I couldn't find Mubi again. So
You know what you can do? Not that you want to do this, but do you have Apple TV? Just download the app on your Apple TV.
no, I have I go through my smart television.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, first world problems.
Yeah.
We'll move
I
along.
think it'll be okay, though.
Let's see. Mickey Haller's Lincoln will continue to roll on a little longer. Netflix has announced that The Lincoln Lawyer has been renewed for a fourth season. Anybody watch any of this?
I watched some of it.
Is it good?
It was good. I think with those shows, and it's all those same types of shows, I get bored when like something gets resolved, right? They figure it out, and then there's just something else, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Like I kind of want
and
to.
another
Stick
thing.
with the big problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Does anyone
Yeah.
call him Stinking Lincoln? Or because you assume, right?
No, but it is a good show. I would say it's a good show. I trailed off, but it's pretty good.
Is it the Lincoln Lawyer because he drives a Lincoln, or is his last name Lincoln?
You know what? I don't know.
Or first name like
His first name maybe like Kathy would know. She's the one who watches.
Would I?
Okay.
He drives like a classic car.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So Nev Campbell will return as Haller's former wife, Maggie McPherson. Campbell only guest starred in 2 season 3 episodes, but she's slated to appear in all 10 episodes of season 4. No word on when filming, which will take place in Los Angeles. And the fire is obviously going to delay things like that.
I like the movie.
So, yep, that's a new announcement. And then, one last thing, and I thought this was kind of interesting, Steve. Knots Landing stars Donna Mills and Joan Van Ark have announced that they've got a rewatch podcast on the way, which kind of blew me away. I'm like, really? Knots Landing?
Knots Landing.
So they'll be taking a look back at the iconic primetime soap opera alongside co-star Michelle Lee. Knots Landing was a spinoff of Dallas. It ran from 1979 to 1993 on CBS, and apparently it's been getting some renewed interest on streaming as well, which apparently inspired the idea of the trio doing a rewatch podcast. So Mills said, we're just putting it together. I'm starting it, so we don't exactly know when it's going to be or where you can access it, but we will let you know.
Movie.
And the Hollywood show, while speaking of the Hollywood show, a pop culture event, she revealed those details.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Dallas, obviously very wealthy. Knots Landing was more like a cul-de-sac.
It was like a nice neighborhood.
Nice neighborhood.
Yeah. It wasn't filthy rich people,
Right,
but it
tons
was
of
all
money.
the drama that happened within that kind of cul-de-sac where everybody lived. I guess which is along the lines of Desperate Housewives, right?
Yes.
Right.
Wisteria, right? That was the lane?
Yep, Wisteria Lane.
Wisteria Lane.
All right, we'll roll clips. We'll start with this one. Prime Target focuses on a brilliant math postgraduate who works to unravel the troubling conspiracy he is at the heart of. And Leo Woodall has played similar characters in the past, and here he explains what makes this one different.
I'd previously played guys who were very outgoing and sociable, and none of those things. It was just, for me, it was a new territory. And I was very interested in exploring that.
You fat ass piece of shit.
So Prime Target premieres tonight. You'll find that on Apple TV+. Here's our next clip. Cameron Diaz returns to the screen for the first time in nearly 11 years. In this clip, she talks about past movies preparing her for the stunts in the new movie Back in Action.
They're long, they're big, they took weeks to film. But for Charlie's Angels, we had that was like the first sort of training I ever had to do for fight like that. And it was really intense.
Hi.
Back in Action is streaming now on Netflix. if you want
I've
to check
heard
that out.
pretty decent things about it. That the chemistry between her and Jamie Foxx is good, and that it is a notch above a normal Netflix movie. Did you watch it, Case?
No, I'm reluctant to watch it because Netflix movies suck ass.
Yeah.
But maybe one of these days but I'm watching American Primeval right now.
What do you think of it?
I'm digging it a lot. I have to go back because, there's a lot going on. There's, the Native American tribes, you got settlers, you got the Mormons. Beavers, probably somewhere in there. I haven't gotten to the beaver part yet, but there is a lot going on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we made an announcement earlier this morning. I want to bring you up to speed on. We have Birds tickets to give away for Sunday, my friend, and it's going to start tomorrow that we have your opportunity to get in on the winning. So we have 10 chances for you to win a pair of tickets to Sunday's game. Plus, pregame tailgate with Philly Sports Trips, and that will feature appearances by former players, a performance by Snack Time, food, drink, and a heated tent as well. Even though it's going to be fairly nice, 44 degrees on Sunday will be the high. So here's what you need to do. We're going to start this tomorrow morning at a quarter after each hour, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 15. We are going to reveal a special keyword, and you enter that keyword at PrestonandSteve.com, and you have a chance to win. So each time you enter is another opportunity for your name to be drawn. And so we'll do it every hour, 5 times a day, both tomorrow and Friday, and then we'll get the winner at the end of the show. So make sure you don't miss each and every opportunity to enter and win. So that starts tomorrow. We are going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. A bunch to get to, guests, and more. We'll tell you about it when we get back.
Preston and Steve.
we're going to try this thing. We try to have toys to play with when we do the Camp Out for Hunger. And Casey found this thing. It's called the Meltdown. All right, so we're looking at a video of this outside right now. If you guys want to go outside and see this in person, you can. If you want to stay in here and watch this on the video, that's fine. I think Steve and I are going to try to head out there.
Yes.
All right, so let me describe this. It's a big ring. It's like a square, actually. It looks like it's about 20 by 20.
It's a square ring.
And in the middle of it, I'll say like a boxing ring.
Yeah.
All right, so that's square. All right, anyhow, inside the middle of it is this big apparatus. It's a large arm, and obviously the object is to avoid this arm as it swings around. Now, I was out here playing with this earlier.
Yeah.
It's got 3 settings on it. All right, it's got slow, medium, and fast.
Yeah.
Fast is insane.
Is it? Oh,
it is.
Well,
it's like,
so
no way in hell.
All
you're
right,
gonna
Steve,
survive.
when I put my when it was going fast,
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do this, and I put my arm up just to see what it felt like.
Right. And it ripped it off.
It almost ripped my arm straight off my body.
Do you think you could time it? Because that's obviously the key.
I don't know. And I was going to bail on this until Marissa made me feel like a giant puss.
All right, because
Yeah.
Marissa's doing it, Casey's doing it, Nick is doing it, and we needed a 4th because the rest of us are going to get killed.
Yeah.
So Kyle is going to step up. Wide angle Kyle, who went on the road trip with Casey and Jackie Bam Bam.
Yes, wide angle. You know, me and camp out stunts have such a good history.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start these guys off on slow, see how they do. We'll try out medium.
No way.
And by the way, what did you tell me about fast, about recommended?
Not recommended for a very long amount of time.
Yes.
All right.
Fast is not recommended for a very long amount of time for a reason. So you will either have to jump or duck as this is going around. And all these guys are mic'd, so this should be interesting as far as the sounds that we're going to get from this.
Do you know what makes this wild, Preston? Is that what they're really not standing on is very firm. It's very bouncy.
Yeah.
So that can be very confusing.
This is inflatable and it is squishy. So, all right, your name again?
Jacob.
All right, Jacob is going to be he's going to be our inquisitor here. All right, Jacob, you ready? All right, let's begin with give us a little bit of music, Ryan, if you could, back at the studio. All right, here we go. Let's begin on slow and see how we do. All right. And
Wait, come on!
Casey gets immediately.
I thought it was going that way.
Mulligan.
I thought it was going clockwise.
Mulligan.
Oh, it changes directions.
Oh,
yeah. All right.
okay.
All right,
He's going to go back, isn't he? He's going to go counterclockwise.
Wait, does it? Oh, here we go. All right, Marissa ducked successfully. Nick jumped over. Casey goes under. Kyle goes over the top. Marissa is down.
Yeah!
Oh my God. Casey successfully ducked. And Kyle, whoa!
He
I'm
made
great
it
at
over.
this.
Way over the top.
like this game.
Oh, down. Jesus. Over.
All right, hold on.
The jumping is useless.
It's on medium now. Hold on. This is. Oh my God! Stop! Hold on. Casey,
I knew this was going to happen.
Casey, are you okay?
What?
Yeah, he's okay.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. That looked painful.
All right, I got to ask you something.
That was
In
slow.
what world does a non-Olympic athlete clear that? That was incredibly hard.
Did you see his neck?
Yes.
I would just like you guys to know while you were watching Casey fall, Kyle rode the thing until he knocked me down.
Oh, really?
I knocked you down? I mean,
And the breathing situation that's taking place right now while everybody has a minute.
By the way,
What was-
Casey's still down on the ground.
Oh, he's up now.
All right.
I'll tell you this, what was hilarious, Kyle was clearing it pretty well, but at one point it caught him and threw him into Marissa.
Yes. I missed
Kathy,
it.
what's that weekly exercise class you do I need in?
Fortunately, we'll have video of this because I missed that part of it. I was so focused on watching Casey get knocked clear out of the air.
The worst part, so I don't even care about my neck.
So what's...
Were my love handles out?
No, you're
No?
not.
Okay.
You look stunning.
No, it wasn't embarrassing at all.
No.
Do you guys want to try it on fast?
No. That was slow. Can we go to medium?
Wait, that was medium.
Okay.
We went from slow to medium.
Can we go to super medium first?
Let's try fast.
Extra medium.
What do you want to do medium and then fast?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly,
do that.
put us out of our misery.
All right.
Just kill us.
We're going to do fast, okay? All right, Jacob, on your mark, get set, and go. Here comes fast. All right, Casey out. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's insane. Oh, my God. Dude. No. Casey's hitting it. He's kicking it. He's punching it.
The thing clocked me in the back of the head.
I'm pretending I'm in a box.
Are you concussed?
I got donkey punch.
You know what? Actually, we got paid by that person you were dealing with over at Villanova to clock you in the back of the head.
Oh, my goodness.
Are we doing this again?
Yeah, one more time.
So what speed was that, Preston?
That was fast.
What if I just ride it? Can I ride it?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Will that work? All right, let's try it. Have Marissa on medium. Here we go.
I need something to hold on to.
That last one.
Watch your leg.
2 seconds.
All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, you ready? Wait, Nick's in the corner.
Oh, I didn't hear no bell.
All right, fast. On your mark, get set, and go. And it's off. Nick's down.
I think he broke it. Jesus Christ.
Marissa's stuck on the end. She's hanging on.
She was hanging on, got thrown off. Kyle tried to clear the whole thing.
It almost launched Marissa out of the ring.
Yeah, I gotta say, Preston, this device is very strong.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I can say why now you don't wear sneakers in this thing. I think it's just in my...
All right, let's try it on slow and see if you guys can actively do it, and then we'll speed it up as we go along.
Great.
All right?
Sure.
Here we go. Final round, most likely. We'll see.
I have to poop.
Jacob, slow. Here we go. And it begins.
Cheers.
Okay, come on, Casey.
Get over.
Kyle's over.
Over.
God damn it in my gut.
You got to duck. You got to jump.
Casey, that was coordinated. Yeah, dump that. Good. Dump that. I think, oh my God. Got me in the pills.
Everyone is on the ground now.
I'm up. That was directly in the balls.
We lost.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Casey's fighting it.
It's alive.
Casey's actually fist fighting it.
All right, here we go. Coming around to Casey.
Is this survival of the fittest?
Oh, my God.
Kyle, be careful. Oh, gosh.
I think it broke.
I think it broke.
It's over, right?
We broke it.
No, Jacob says it ain't broke.
Jacob.
Pretty sure it's broken.
I thought you were on our side, Jacob.
Wait, Preston.
Nick's alone.
Casey needs his cut man.
Oh, my God. This thing is insane.
It's insane.
And, oh, my God. We saw your love handles that time, Case.
Casey flew into Marissa. I don't know how
Officially been
you
taken
do
out
this.
by everyone but Nick.
What's that, Steve?
I don't know how you could do that.
I know.
Kyle's tall. He can't jump and clear it.
And by the way, this is the small version of this. They have a bigger one for like 8 people.
Can we tie your shoe?
This thing.
Jesus.
All right. I
Yeah.
think have they had enough abuse?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, Marissa's being given the last rites.
Kathy, you sure you don't want to try this?
Come on, Kathy.
I'm pretty sure.
Kathy's back was hurting. This would kill her.
All right.
This will fix it.
So who do we deem our winner? Do we have a
Marissa.
winner? Is it Marissa?
She was the first to raise her arms.
It's great to have our guest back in our studio this morning. He's here to talk about a movie that is going to be in theaters on April 13th. It is a story of a gentleman by the name of Father Stuart Long, and it's called Father Stu. We're happy to have Mark Wahlberg here with us.
How are you guys? I feel like I just broke the fourth wall. I watched her do the traffic. Wow, that
You
was
saw
classic.
it.
And I knew she was going to mention the Schuylkill. Schuylkill first thing. Schuylkill.
Well, you're an honorary Philadelphian. I mean, let's face
Take
it.
a lot of pride in that, too.
Yes, yeah. I remember when the Eagles were heading to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You came on with us, man, and we never forgot that. And of course, you're Vince Papale, so that's.
I actually, it was the only time I could stomach the Patriots losing.
I know. Very diplomatic
It was
about
to my
that.
Eagles, yeah.
And we believed you when you said it, so that meant a lot.
No,
so,
it's true.
yeah.
It was true. It was an honor to put that uniform on.
So, Mark, the story of Father Stuart is it's pretty wild, man. It's and I'm curious before we go down the storyline of people may not be familiar with the life of Father Stu. How did this story get to you?
Oh gosh, it sounds like one of those jokes. I'm an Italian restaurant in Beverly Hills with two priests, and literally on a Saturday afternoon, one of them starts pitching me a movie, and he told me the story once. I wasn't really paying attention. He started telling me again, and then it just dawned on me. Oh my gosh, this is something that I should do. I'm always looking for the next great challenge, and more importantly, this is also an opportunity for me to do something that really kind of represents my faith, and hopefully will help a lot of people. And people are really touched by the film.
There's a lot to be gleaned from this movie, and I'm a sucker for this kind of story. The fact that it's real only makes it that much more impactful. But there's redemption, There's a false start to redemption that is driven home by a more cataclysmic event that occurs with Father Stu, but also all the things like I think forgiveness and things that we lose sight of. I was talking to Casey prior to having you on today about we've forgotten how to take people as a whole entity,
and most importantly, seeing the good in people.
Seeing the good in people, and that point is driven home in the movie. Is that we're all imperfections. We're all that part of it, but retain the ability to say, this may not be something I'm thrilled about this person, but they did this. There's something in there, and that point's driven home as well. There's something in Father Stu that makes him able to slalom into the right people's spheres who help him along.
Yeah, and he's then in turn touched so many people in such a short amount of time during the priesthood. But it's remarkable. I just went to Helena, Montana. We had the premiere there, and to see all the people, to show the film to his family, his friends, parishioners, but also see how many people he touched.
Right.
It's remarkable. I mean, you really feel his presence there, and now we're getting to share that with the whole world.
For those who don't know his story, and I don't want to give away too much of maybe what you want to keep for the people who view the film, what is his story for those who may not know?
Well, he was a boxer. His parents, he lost a younger brother really early on, and his parents didn't really have the coping skills to deal with that. He was left to his own devices. He became a fighter. He was angry at the world. He then tried to go to Hollywood to become an actor, fell in love with a girl, would do anything to be with her, and of course she lured him into church. She couldn't be with him if he wasn't baptized and wasn't Catholic. He was like, dump the water on me, oh man.
Yeah.
And then he had this terrible accident, had a visit from Mother Mary, and then he went to the fullest extreme and said, not only am I going to become a Catholic, I'm going to become a priest. And everybody in his life just thought he was absolutely crazy. He challenged everything about the priesthood in the seminary, got diagnosed with a rare disease, incurable disease, and then as his physicality deteriorated, his spirituality soared, and they still campaigned to have him ordained as a priest, and he touched a lot of people.
He seemed to be like leap of faith was his thing because
he'd try anything.
In the beginning, he moves to Los Angeles with nothing, no one that checks into a hotel. I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
Well, he found out otherwise. And but and yet this other thing happens in his life, and yet he takes another leap, and he seems to be one of these that just trusted his instincts 100% all the way.
Yeah, it was all about intuition for him. And, it's remarkable because the things that he did in a short amount of time, really, I talked to the Archbishop who had ordained him, and he was like, I couldn't believe it, but he had so much real-life experience, and all the things that people were going through and struggling with, he had already experienced. So he knew how to kind of help them cope with that, and to see with all the adversity that he faced, he handled it with such grace and dignity. Yeah. And if we're lucky enough to get old, we're all going to face it.
Yes.
But, it's one of those things where how do you cope with that? After just losing my mom. I lost my mom during the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's remarkable. It gives me a lot of comfort.
MMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Yes, we have Preston and Steve's Ticket Blitz starting tomorrow morning at quarter after the hour, each hour, Thursday and Friday. We're going to give you a code word. You enter at PrestonandSteve.com, and each time you enter is another entry in winning a pair of tickets to the game.
I love it.
Also the pre-tailgate party at Philly Sports Trips, and they do it upright. So listen up for your chance tomorrow morning. We'll give you those keywords. That's when we will begin. And make sure you spread the word. Let other people know that really wanted to go to the game and don't want to pay what you
little pricey.
will probably have to pay. We'd have your chance to win tickets, which would be pretty cool. All right, so we're going to go live on Fox Good Day about a half hour from now or so. So we got a little bit of time. We're going to talk about the Razzie nominations and a couple of other things. So the Razzies came out yesterday, and these, of course, are the awards for the worst. I've forgotten about this. I love this. The worst films of the year and a variety of categories. So we have several to get to. So worst picture, we'll start with the big one. And I didn't see any of these movies. The worst picture nominees, I'll read them all off and then we can kind of go through them. Borderlands, Joker Folly Ado, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. Did anybody see any of those movies?
I didn't see Reagan not Megalopolis. I saw the other three.
You saw Madam Web,
yes,
Joker Folly Ado, and Borderlands.
Yes.
Would you agree that they were some of the worst movies of last year? Okay.
I would.
Would you say Madam Web is the worst?
Madam Web is staggeringly bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I can watch. I love bad movies that one offended me how bad it was.
Wow.
So I didn't make it all the way through. It was that terrible. Folie à Deux, I didn't make it all the way through, but that's only because I was falling asleep anyway. But from what I saw, I was enjoying it. I got all the way up until like when the insane asylum and prison was kind of set on fire. And I was enjoying it up until that point.
You know, it does. I'll say I enjoyed the first movie. I thought the first one was good, and I thought it was a great character study of this guy who becomes the Joker.
Yeah.
But then the second movie goes about dismantling. It seems like a guy who was pissed off that he had to make a sequel.
Yeah.
And so completely dismantles what happens in the first movie. And it's it's like talent, cinematography, writing, all there. It's almost like a big FU to the people who enjoyed the first movie.
So the story just didn't bring it home.
I didn't know. And it wraps up, Preston, with you basically realizing you've been flim-flammed.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what kind of pisses me off about movies like that, Steve, is that like a lot of people worked really hard to make those movies happen.
Yeah.
Costuming and cinematography and everything that like effort was put into on their part, making it a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just gets trashed.
Well, and not only making it a good movie, they're trying to make it a great movie.
Yes.
I mean, like the first one was a hit. You need, so they tried real hard. But I think they, now I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, they took some chances that that were outside the ordinary. And
That's
it wasn't, people couldn't, absorb it.
Actually, in a nutshell.
Yeah. All right. So, worst actor, the Razzie Awards. I'll read these off quickly and then we'll go through them. Jack Black, Dear Santa. Zachary Levi for Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix for Folie à Deux. Dennis Quaid in Reagan. And Jerry Seinfeld in Unfrosted. The only one that I know you like that, Nick.
So did I.
The only one that I watched part of was Dear Santa with Jack Black. And I didn't make it very far into it because it just wasn't very good.
It was
a great idea.
Fairley Brothers too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like,
I think Jace liked it. Was that like
it
kids
may
go
be,
watch?
yeah, kids.
Okay.
It's targeted more towards kids of,
I think he
10,
liked
11, 12 years old,
Yeah.
maybe
And
something like that.
maybe if they haven't been exposed to the Jack Black thing, which he's doing fully, but it is. I felt the same way. I'm like, and I like the movie Red One, which it was another holiday Christmas movie, and it's kind of crappy, but good crappy, fun crappy.
Right.
This was crappy.
So Unfrosted, you guys liked it?
Yeah.
Listen, is it a great movie? No. Is Jerry Seinfeld a great actor? No. But the whole idea of how Pop-Tarts came into being is pretty funny, and I thought it had its moments. I laughed out loud a few times.
Me too. And Jerry Seinfeld has admitted he's not a good actor. That's like part of the joke. And so you're never going to go see a Jerry Seinfeld project thinking, oh, I'm going to be blown away by his acting. He's playing Jerry Seinfeld every single time.
Well, if he wins, maybe he'll come and accept his award.
He might,
He knows that. Zachary Levi, I did not see Harold and the Purple Crayon.
That apparently is a beloved kids book where you have this magic crayon that allows you to do stuff. I like Zachary Levi, and I mean, he's Shazam and
he's great in that.
Tangled.
Yeah. All right. Actress. The nominees are Kate Blanchett for Borderlands, Lady Gaga for Folie à Deux, Bryce Dallas Howard for Argyle, Dakota Johnson in Madam Web, and Jennifer Lopez in Atlas. J-Lo, Kathy.
So here's the deal. For all those actresses, I think they were trying their best with what they were given.
Yeah.
But I didn't see the J-Lo one.
And she's gotten a Razzie before, right?
Probably.
Don't
For
know.
Geely, maybe?
Yeah,
I feel like she has.
But Kate Blanchett, she's a big deal.
She was miscast in that role. It's the video game realization.
What was Argyle about?
It is it said, I think it was a direct to Netflix. Henry Cavill's in it, and so this woman learns she's sort of this nebbish writer who learns that she's actually a highly trained agent. I haven't seen this before, right? That whole trope.
Yeah.
And
Jason Bourne.
There's the cat. I don't remember everything where the cat is always with the one spy, and he has a cat and sort of like this cat carrier. If you don't remember, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It was so the director who directed it was the director of the first Deadpool, so he knows how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So they're up for worst actress, worst supporting actor. Jack Black, voice only in Borderlands. Kevin Hart in Borderlands. Shia LaBeouf in Megalopolis. Tahar Rahim in Madam Web. and John Voight in Megalopolis, Reagan, Shadowland, and Strangers. So 3 different movies.
So the dude, the guy you mentioned, is the villain in Madam Web.
Okay.
Preston, they have the worst voice looping I've ever seen in a movie. You would think you were watching a Hong Kong kung fu movie.
no.
It's so bad.
What's it like, paging Mr. Herman?
But the guys, they'll take, but they're using a voice that's suitable to him.
Okay.
But it's just horrible.
Nah. Worst supporting actress, Ariana DeBose for Argyle and Craven the Hunter. Leslie Ann Down as Margaret Thatcher in Reagan. Emma Roberts in Madam Web. Amy Schumer in Unfrosted. And Fakah Twigs in
The Crow.
The Crow. Still didn't see any of those movies.
You know, I think what they might do, knowing about the way the Razzies go, they may target Megalopolis because it's it's Coppola.
Yeah.
It's a huge movie, and it's just one of those big thudding flops.
So he made it in Worst Director, Francis Ford Coppola for Megalopolis.
One of the greatest directors of all time.
S.J. Clarkson for Madam Web, Todd Phillips for Joker, Follow You Do, Eli Roth for Borderlands, and Jerry Seinfeld for Unfrosted. Then you have the Worst Screen Combo. It says any 2 obnoxious characters, but especially Jack Black in Borderlands.
Wow, that bad, huh?
Any 2 unfunny comedic actors in Unfrosted.
Oh my gosh.
The entire cast of Megalopolis. Wow. Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga for Joker Folie à Deux, and then Dennis Quaid and Penelope Ann Miller as Ronnie and Nancy Reagan.
I mean, they really do have their sights set on just a few certain movies.
They usually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually do that. And some people can win tons of Razzies in one
I
year.
respectfully suggest you shove it up your ass.
Then you have the worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel. And there definitely are some. So there's The Crow.
Yeah.
Joker Folie à Deux, Craven the Hunter. Mufasa the Lion King is in there. And then Rebel Moon 2, The Scargiver. So that's the first.
For Zack Snyder.
Zack.
He's been on the list before.
Yep.
Either people love him or hate him. Now, I'll tell you this. And when we get a chance to talk, I'm sure we will, to Zack Snyder, let's no longer release the pre-version with the promise of the director's cut version. Release the director's cut version first.
Sure,
because they're in tone different movies. Not saying the first iterations weren't worth watching.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is a big difference between those and the director, quote unquote, versions of the movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
I guess they do that because usually the runtime is a lot longer and they don't want to scare people away from the theater.
But this is on Netflix. It both went to Netflix. You're sitting on your own couch.
Then you have the worst screenplay: Joker Folie à Deux, Craven the Hunter, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. So these are all the Razzie nominations.
I was also in Rebel Moon.
That were out.
I played Gooftar.
And one of the reasons we wanted to bring this up here, not in the entertainment report, so we could have a little room to chat about this, is Nick brought up, I think it was Nick, or was it you? Was it Casey? Mm-hmm. Casey brought up an interesting concept that I think that we can all contribute to, which is you're watching a show on a streaming service and you're continuing to watch it even though you really don't like it very much, or you're not sure if you like it or not,
Well, we
but
started
you're
talking
still
about-
watching it anyway.
Yeah, we were talking about Severance last week, and the new season of Severance just started, and I watched all of season 1, and I thought Severance is a great show, but I don't know if I liked it at all.
Right.
And I recommended to you, Preston, to you, Casey, the Apple TV Plus show Silo, and I really liked it. And Casey texted me a bunch. It was fun because we were having a text conversation over the holiday break, and Casey's like, I keep watching this and I hate it.
I finished the first season, and I texted you. I go, just finished season 1 of Silo. I go, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it.
But you found it compelling.
It was compelling, but it was like really, really dark, and it left me like it was hard watching several episodes in a row because it's just so dark and depressing.
There's no
And
sunlight.
There's no sunlight. Not a whole lot of questions were answered, and so I was like, I just spent 8 hours of my life watching this, and I think I hated it.
So I'm watching it as well. I'm season 4 of episode 2, and I'm using it as my exercise show. I try to find a show that's got multiple episodes, and I will make a bargain with myself that I will only watch it while I'm exercising, and that might if I really like it, it will motivate me to go exercise.
How's that working with Silo?
Well, I'm sticking with it,
Yeah.
but I'm like with Casey. I'm like, I don't know if I like it or not. I'm gonna keep going because I'm too damn far in.
Well, you've
to give up
invested
on
it now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why that's the case. And not even streaming. Shows going back throughout my TV watching years ago. I know, Kathy, you'll connect to this. Babylon 5, when it started.
She's all about it.
In the first, I simply watched it because it was one of the first TV shows to employ CGI effects for spaceships. And Preston, I'm like, and I'd say I just started dating Claire at the time, and it's kind of crappy. But I mean, I like looking at the ships. They're kind of cool and what they're doing. And then by I think it was the third season, they did a callback to something that happened in the first season, and I went, this is and then I love the show. A 5-season complete thing. So the promise of that happening fuels my desire to give things a shot. But sometimes you're like, this is not turning. This is not getting better.
Well, I continued to watch a show, and at the end, I think I had the exact same question.
Was it
like,
Babylon 5?
No, but I was like, I don't know if I liked that. Like, it didn't suck. I didn't hate it, but like, did I like it? I wasn't sure, and I was like all into it until the last scene, and right when it ended, I was like, I'm not sure. I don't even know.
Well, just touching back on Silo again, because I even though I hated season 1, I gave season 2 a try. Watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, okay, here's some questions that are being answered. I think I like this again. And by episode 4, I was like, I hate the show. I hated it all over again.
You should have up on a dry erase board. Current status. Hate it.
Yeah.
I think the way that Silo goes, and not to just focus on this one show, but like it kind of season 2, which you're in the middle of, Preston. Season 2 does answer some stuff at the end. It also takes a twist at the end, and no spoilers, obviously. But like, there's some stuff that happens at the end of season 2 that I think make worth watching all of it. The other thing that I like about it is there are these big unanswered questions, and then within individual episodes are smaller unanswered questions, and so they'll tackle like one problem and solve that. And then the bigger stuff they're leaving to the end of the series or whatever. And to me, that reminds me of Lost a lot. Like Lost was like, all right, let's go and figure out what's happening season to season to season. And the first 4 seasons of Lost were brilliant television. It ended with a bit of a sputter. But I like how Silo is building towards answering bigger questions.
What is Silo about? It keeps popping up.
It's basically a dystopian society. We don't know why these people are living in this silo.
They don't even know why.
They don't know why. Yeah, Tim Robbins is one of the stars. Rebecca Ferguson, who's incredible. And so they're in this futuristic society. Common's in it. He's great. We don't know why they're in the silo. They don't know why they're in the silo, and all they know is that it's not safe to go out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been so long that they don't know why they created the silo in the first place. Somebody texted and said season 4 Silo. I thought it was only 2. No, I said episode 4.
Well, you actually
season
said
2.
You said it the opposite, but I let it go. You said
sorry.
episode 4 season. You said season 4 episode 2, but you meant season 2 episode 4.
Why would you lie to us like that?
There's another show that I watched all the way through, and it's called Ozark, and I was like, okay, every single character in this show sucks. They're all bad. They're all horrible, reprehensible people. The filters that they use to shoot it make it dark and like cloudy all the time. So it's got that whole depressing, really moody. But I watched all of it. I'm like, do I like this?
So what your final assessment is you're not sure where you stand on Ozark?
No, not really. I mean, it was like Ozark is kind of like Breaking Bad with heroin. But Breaking Bad, I loved the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I liked Ozark because
you like heroin.
They didn't. No, I just like the drug dealers.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I'm not a heroin user.
I played one on radio.
Yeah, I don't know. That kept grabbing me. There was something new, and there was a lot of like the same stuff, and who's going to get killed, and all that kind of stuff. But it kept grabbing me. Breaking Bad, I couldn't hang on. Like I was like,
how much time did you give it?
I tried
because it was a slow build for me.
Yes, I think that was it, Casey.
Okay.
I went back to it like 5 different times, and I just kept trying, and I couldn't.
I thought it was really good. Some people thought it was the greatest
Loved
TV
it,
show
yeah.
ever. I thought it was really good, but I was like, they wouldn't push it that far. But people love it. People who love it.
You're exactly right. I think you'll find more people, pound for pound, who point towards Breaking Bad. Now, watch the first season, but who point to it as the greatest complete TV show drama of all time.
It is.
Or
then they brought out-
The Wire.
Yeah, I haven't.
Sopranos.
I've never finished The Wire, but yeah, I mean, Breaking Bad was perfect, and then they came out with El Camino, which made it perfecter.
Yeah, and Better Call Saul was also fantastic. The story arc and all of those. I think Breaking Bad was perfect television, and the way the arc goes for all 5 seasons is terrific. Ozark, Casey, was literally and figuratively dark. They shot it dark, and all the storylines were dark. So, like, it weighs on you after a while, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, man, this is heavy. And sometimes you're turning for television, you're like, I need an escape, and this is making me feel worse.
It's true. It's true. So what? I say 3 episodes. By 3 episodes,
Well, to grab you,
you can get an idea of where you're going, and then honestly, there's such a glut of good stuff on. If you're not feeling it by the end of the whatever first season is, disconnect and move on. Like, ain't nobody got time for that.
No,
You know?
there's too many choices out there right now. One of the top texts on the board said Sons of Anarchy, and I watched almost all of it, and then I had to tap out at a certain point. I was liking it, but it just became so, and I don't know why. Repetitive, and I'm like, hey, here's another.
What's with the motorcycles?
Here's another shootout on a Northern California highway between motorcycles, and you don't know who it is. Like, you can't arrest anybody on this. It just became ridiculous to me.
Yep.
Steve, to your point about like there being so many choices and so many options, like the other thought, like it's all right there at the touch of a button.
I know.
The scroll of your finger, like you don't have to go to the Blockbuster and the video might not be there, because somebody else rented it on a Friday night. Everything is there whenever we want it, however we want it, and like we're so damn spoiled that we pick apart the littlest nuances. Like I
might have made things more special because you had to be a little bit more invested.
I'm just grateful that all of those options exist and they exist immediately.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about shows that you don't really like, but you keep on watching anyway. Marissa?
Have you guys heard of The Curse?
No.
With Emma Stone?
Nope.
Good. Just ignore it. Because it is 10 episodes.
Emma Stone?
Emma Stone is in it. It is 10 episodes, and I'm pretty sure they were an hour each. And it's like her and her husband, and they play house flippers. So it's kind of like a take on HGTV. I was kind of into it. They have this like eco-living reality show that they're doing in this New Mexican town.
All right.
And in like the first episode, the husband gives $100 to a little girl on camera and then takes it back because he was like, oh, that was just on camera. Like, you don't really need
Okay, so
I need the money. I wanted to give you a smaller bill. So he's quote unquote cursed. I watched it only because I needed closure.
Oh.
And then the ending was worse than like our immediate reaction to Lost. Like it was so dumb. And it was one of these like darling movies that was, debuted at the film festival and everybody loves it.
It's a movie?
It was a series. It was 10 episodes. But I watched, I gave 10 hours to this thing just for closure. And the closure at the end was so terrible.
Okay.
You know what else gets me? If somebody points something out not great about the show, right? Like that I'm watching. So I was watching Virgin River. Did anybody watch that?
No.
Oh, yeah. They had Otter from Animal House. We had the guy, Tim Matheson.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we had him on
Okay.
to promote that show.
So I was watching. I watched the first couple of seasons and I loved it. I was super into it. I'm like, this is great. Somebody pointed something out to me, and now I can't not see it. And there's a new season out, and I've gone to the first episode of the new season 3 different times, and I'm like,
do you want to share
Stork was brain damaged.
what they pointed out?
It's just the overall cheesiness of it, but like it, it was a little more specific with certain characters or whatever, but they pointed that out, and now I'm like, this is so cheesy.
Okay. All right. Let me get a couple calls. I know we have to we got to break here in a little bit because we're going to go on Fox this morning. I have Dean who's on the line. Hey, Dean, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Sorry to bother you at work.
It's all right, man. What is your observation here?
In the 90s, I believe it was, I'm 45 now, and I know my sister's listening, but I invested way too much time possibly in Quantum Leap.
Okay.
Quantum Leap.
And what happened was, and this is before, you guys just mentioned streaming and all that. This is when I had to be home by like 7 to watch. I think Star Trek Next Generation was on. And then if you caught that, then you knew like Quantum Leap was on, or it could have been reversed. I don't know. But you would watch it all the way through the next episode. The final episode would air. The next day was the first episode again of Quantum Leap. I think I watched it 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I'm still not sure. I'm 45. I'm still not sure today. Now, there were some amazing performances. Scott Bakula, really did a great job. Dean Stockwell, all that. But then you're watching episodes where he's a monkey.
And you're not, what are you not sure of?
I'm just not sure if it was worth the time yet.
And you watched it multiple times.
So I would finish it, and my mom and my sisters, they could attest. I would be home. And again, this is before streaming. If you missed it,
you missed it.
You know, you missed it.
Gene, you raise a good point. There is and it used to be more the case, when streaming doesn't present this issue for most people, but when you'd watch a show and it would lead into another show, you would just watch that show by default.
Yeah.
And many times, now sometimes you'd be turned on to something great, but other times it just became habitual.
Yep.
And now you have a quantum leap situation like Dean has.
Yes, and again, I'm 45. I 3 or 4 times through the entire series, and the episodes I love. I'm sitting here now as you're talking, going, did I like it?
We're making you ask a life question. Yeah.
Nice, Dean. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. I want to go to Lisa. Hi, Lisa. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what? What's up, Lisa?
Good morning. So we're a little late to the game on this, but my husband and I, for the last few months, have been watching How I Met Your Mother and streaming it.
Right.
And it's awful. We hate it. But now we're on the 9th season. We finally just found out who he marries, and we hate the show. We've watched 9 seasons of it now.
No, so I'll tell you this. It took a while for me to get into How I Met Your Mother, but then I began to enjoy it, mainly Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah, I know I could see that. But once you're in, and you're like, well, I got to finish the damn thing.
Right. We got to know who he marries.
It's the whole question of the series is right in the title.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah, so she's stuck in the loop.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. Hang on, I'll go to Frank. Hi, Frank. You're on the air, buddy.
Good morning, Ned.
Good morning to see you.
I thought he said Ned.
Good morning, Ned.
I thought he said good morning, it.
He said good morning, Ed.
I thought he said good morning, Nick.
Oh, also, good morning to see you.
That's why I thought it'd be nice you answer.
All right, there we go.
All right, go ahead, Frank.
So I cannot stand, The Walking Dead because I've realized after 3 seasons, it is the exact same storyline every season.
So you're speaking exactly what I think pisses most of us off. There has to be some sort of evolution, and I like The Walking Dead. I hit a point, and I think Preston and I have been mentioned it many times, when they welcomed Negan, not welcome, but let Negan live after all the crap he had done. It's like that was a disconnect. It's a bridge too far. But a show that you're reminding me of, Frank, Supernatural. Love the series Supernatural. But after a while, it became Dean's dead. But not if we can find the Stone of Akbar. And say, come on!
But I'm with you,
and
Frank.
it just kept looping over and over. So I agree. You've got to have momentum. That's why I like shows where you never know from episode to episode if someone's going to die.
Right.
Or, things change.
But I watched Walking Dead. I never finished it, but I started watching the spin-off stuff. But there is
Dead.
There was this moment where I was like, no, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this story and these characters, and I got to see it all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
And
go ahead.
Yeah. Shameless is also the same way.
Shameless?
Kathy, you watched all that.
Evolution.
They what?
Very little evolution. They didn't evolve.
Yeah, but I think
Thanks, Frank.
that's a different type of show. No, they don't evolve. Because they are who they are.
But you're comparing it to Babylon 5.
And when they did try to evolve is when the show started to not do so great. Everybody loved that reprehensible family that did the awful things. Yeah.
It's a tough thing. Do you stick with what works, or do you change it to let the show grow? So I don't really know.
Yeah, you don't want to see Negan in the kitchen making cookies for everyone.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, this conversation got started with the Razzies. We were talking to bad shows and movies and so on, and hence we got on the why do you keep watching a show when you don't even like it? But you just do sometimes. All right, we are going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. We have some TV time to do with Fox Good Day. We have some bizarre file stories on the way. We have a concert announcement today. We got more things coming up. And secret text word with your chance to win tickets to go and see Billy Idol and Joan Jett this summer. So text word secret 39333. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
Losing a lot of people.
There's a very powerful scene. I won't go into it, but it apparently happened right after your mom had passed, and it seemed as if, in a way, you were channeling that emotion in this scene. It's particularly it's in the church, and you're why I'm doing all these things that you want of me, speaking to God, and how am I here? And it seemed like, I mean, we've always compliment you're a great actor, and in that moment though, so visceral. And everyone's tearing up at that, because you do have those moments like, wait a second, I thought I was doing everything right, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah, no. When everything's going good, life throws you a curveball, and God is definitely at work here. It's amazing to see how people are being touched by this movie. It's coming out now at Easter during the pandemic, where everybody's been struggling.
Right.
So people from all walks of life really feel like they identify and relate to Stu in their own personal way.
Yeah, and I can as well. And so. My father was a deacon. My father passed away 8 years ago, and and he wasn't born Catholic, and he didn't convert until he met my mother, and all that stuff. And so you talk about finding the grace of God through pain and suffering, and so they had lost their first born child, and you figure something like that could. And I talked to my dad about it. They could have been like peace out, thank you, but every single time I see you, I'm reminded of our son, but it actually it drew them closer to God, which is this crazy thing that happens, and it happened to fathers too. And so you're in Philadelphia, and you're doing a press tour in Philadelphia, and I wasn't sure if you were aware of Father Bill Atkinson. So his story is very, very reminiscent of what happened with Father Stu. So Father Atkinson wrote this book called Green Bananas, and Father Atkinson was a teacher at Monsignor Bonner High School, and he was a paraplegic. He was in a terrible sledding accident, and so he writes this book called Green Bananas, and essentially it's don't buy green bananas because you're not promised tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. So you may not even be here to enjoy that yellow banana. And so this guy, I'm sure as you go through the city today, I'm sure maybe this will come up more than one time. Yeah.
There's something, and to that point, so there were two uncles in my life. My wife's uncles were both priests. 50 years plus. They've since passed away to Father Jim and Father Charlie. And Father Stu reminded me, there's a similar sort of thing. There's an I don't know what it is, and maybe it's if grace is brought into your life, and you're there's a way they carry themselves, and you say, oh, these. They don't know what they're talking about. It's easy a lot of times to dismiss. You can't possibly connect to my situation. But I remember years ago sitting down with both of them at various points. I'm like, man, they got it. They got it. And they were able to speak comfort to me at a time when I really needed it. And you project. There's a couple of scenes in the movie where you're dispensing the solace to people in trouble, and they look at you, and you're in this vegetative state, Father Stu, I should say. And you always get that, well, if he can, then maybe I can. And if this helped him, maybe it can help me. It's such a powerful message.
Yeah, and it's important. I mean, people are really struggling right now. But having that real life experience is invaluable. When you were talking about that particular scene, I've never studied acting, but I have a lot of real life experience, the good, the bad, and I kind of utilize all of that in portraying these characters that I play and try to do it in the most authentic way. And so going through that particular moment at that particular time, but still, Stu and the way he handled it helped me, and it will continue to help me. And I just am much more optimistic about the future and accepting things that you can't change. And
learning that is a big lesson.
Yeah.
Who did you meet from the real story? I know Father Stu has passed, but anybody from his family?
Oh yeah, his dad, his siblings, his family, his best friends from the seminary, his childhood friends. He's he's a colorful guy. Lots of really interesting friends.
Yeah.
Well,
I knew you were coming in, so when watching the film, I kind of wanted to look at the practical parts of movie making as well as taking the story in. And one of the things that I love, Mark, is, and I'm curious about you as an actor, when you're on the set and you're giving your lines and so on, it's not the same as what we see once it's edited and put together. the music in this film, the way they really added a body to it, I thought. And when you watch the completed film, does that start to impact you more with those added pieces of the puzzle? You know what I mean? Than when you were there delivering those lines.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, I'll give you a great example. I was making a movie called The Fighter, and I wanted to watch every great boxing movie ever made leading up until the start of the film. I happened to be on a plane flying to Boston. I had Rocky on.
Yeah.
Watching Rocky, all of a sudden, you know, every time I watch Rocky, you know what it does to you. All of a sudden, I turned off the volume, and because I was on a call, and I'm still watching, and the movie just completely didn't work. Without the sound and all of the music and the score. And so, yeah, of course. And Rosie had done a great job. I mean, I knew when I was reading the script because all this, the scenes described the music that would be playing and the artist that she wanted to use. I was like, oh, this is going to be really expensive.
This is Rosalind Ross.
Rosalind Ross, yeah.
First-time director.
First-time writer.
Wrote the script, and you took a chance.
Yeah.
But I think you had a good. I was reading an interview with you, and you said she wrote the words. She knew what she was seeing. What better person to translate that?
Yeah, I've definitely felt like that because we were trying to make this movie for a while. David O. Russell and I were trying to get somebody to write the script, and I couldn't crack it, you know. And then when she came and said she wanted to try it, I said go ahead. And I kind of told her the story, connected her to the people, and then all of a sudden she comes back to me with a movie that I wanted to make. So I said if she could put it on the page, she could put it on the screen.
That's wild.
Had you worked with Jackie Weaver before?
No, I hadn't.
Because she plays the mom in Silver Linings Playbook, which is obviously set here in Philly as well. And I love her. She's so compelling, and there's something about her eyes whenever you watch. Like she just emotes so well.
She's fantastic. And you know, I lost my mom during the making of the movie, and to kind of rely on her, she was definitely there for me in lots of ways. And if I ever needed to get emotional or anything like that, like there's a scene where I'm coming into the church and I realized that they're actually going to ordain me, and I just looked to her, and then of course I just got super emotional, you know.
So your father in this film is Mel Gibson, and so I noticed that your relationship with him in this movie is very, very similar to Daddy's Home 2, where he plays your father in that movie as well.
Yeah. Oh my God! Yeah, he was going to play my brother, but Mel obviously was Bill Long, Stu's dad, his first choice, second choice, and third choice. I've made a lot of movies about real people and especially sensitive subjects, and I've never had somebody deal with it in such a nonchalant way, the way that Bill has. I mean, he really gets a kick out of it. He doesn't really. He knows that that I'm playing Stu, but he's able to kind of detach himself from that. And so, like when he sees Mel, he just starts giggling all the time.
Well, he he made The Passion of the Christ and directed, and I assume you were able to pull on his. Expertise, because this was a smaller film than some of the other films you've made.
And of course, you know, taking on the responsibility of financing the movie myself. You know, he financed The Passion. He kind of did it all. So you know, that was something I was able to take a play from his book and kind of figure out the best way to get the movie made without any kind of creative interference. Because once you bring on a financier or a studio, then everybody's got notes. I mean, they're paid to have an opinion, right? And then you kind of get into the rabbit hole. We didn't want to make a film by committee. We wanted to kind of do our own thing and then find the right partner to distribute it.
Sure. You're just tuning in. It's Mark Wahlberg is joining us in studio. Father Stu is going to be out in theaters April 13th. You guys shot this in 30 days?
30 days, yeah.
Wow.
It's like 6 years to get it done in 30 days.
It's always, You're basically in quicksand for all this time. And then all of a sudden you have to sprint to the finish line. And then it was the same thing with... We had a lot of time to edit the film, but then we had a short amount of time to release the film. So,
I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you were able to get it done so quickly because you work hard. And there was a nice documentary that was done about your life, and you just know that like you're just the dude who is just working from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. I also know that you take your health and your physical fitness very, very seriously. You don't do it because you have to. You do it because you want to and you love it. So, gaining 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Was that fun or did that suck?
It was the worst experience of my life. I'm still feeling the repercussions of that. It's just because it's just at my age, it's not that healthy.
3 WMMR.
Right, thanks, Kath. We've got about 30 seconds. We will go live on Fox Good Day, checking in with Mike and Alex. And leading into that, though, just a reminder today we have a secret text word, and we have a chance to win tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Saturday, August 16th at the Man. And by the way, that'll be one of those shows You'll know every single song. You will sing along to every single tune. So text word secret to 39333. Tickets go on sale 9 a.m. on Friday. And Pierre's got tickets to give away later on today. That music means we're going live on Fox Good Day, so let's do it.
Oh, maybe they got rid of all the dogs. I mean, in a good way.
Yes.
Doggy style over there.
So let's get to Preston and Steve, because that's what we're talking about this morning. Hey, guys.
Hey. Morning, guys.
Morning. So, dogs, should they be allowed inside of restaurants? This cafe owner posted on Reddit where she has a sign on the door that says, please keep dogs outside. But many people ignore it and they bring their dogs inside anyway. And she says she is an animal lover, but she just thinks for hygiene reasons, she just doesn't want dogs in eateries.
So, Steve, you want to start?
Sure. I have 8 cats and a huge dog, so food doesn't taste right unless there's fur and filth in it. But I believe the restaurant owner has the right to kind of set the rules, and dog owners can go to another restaurant.
Yeah, I'd be I would say the same thing. And I don't even know what I always thought. Now, I do see animals from time to time, but I thought there are rules against animals being in.
You can't have them working.
They can't work there. Okay, I guess that is.
But people with like smaller, I've definitely seen people with like smaller dogs, like they have it in their like arms as they're sitting at the table. I've seen that a couple of times.
It doesn't really bother me. Unless they're sniffing my crotch or something.
Then you get a hotel room.
Yeah.
Right. Kathy, what about you? You're such a benevolent, sweet soul.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Oh, that's so sweet. Keep your pets at home. But I do think that if it's a small dog or a large dog, it doesn't matter. Like if the people with small dogs can put them on their lap, then a person with a large dog can have it sit at your feet. But I do think that the dog should stay home if you're going out to a restaurant.
Casey, what say you?
Yeah, you know what? I just saw this. I was out to lunch about 2 weeks ago, and a woman walked in with her dog and had a little vest on it, which, by the way, you can buy those vests at Amazon. It's weird because I don't mind it, but at the same time, I'm like, you don't really have to do this. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe it is a comfort or a service, but, and who am I to say?
If the restaurant determines that they don't want to have that, they should, right?
Yeah, but as a patron, but what's weird is there were 2 people that were sitting next to where this woman sat down, and they got up and they moved their table after she sat down with their dog. So clearly they weren't down with it. You know?
Was it a big dog?
It was probably a medium-sized dog. I would say somewhere between 20 to 30 pounds.
Yeah, I guess the question is, does it bother you if there's a dog in the restaurant? Nick, does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me at all, but I understand that it bothers some people, and if it bothers them, then I think that that's reason enough to have the rule where you can't bring in a dog. You know, Mike, I'm with you. Like, if I'm in a restaurant and I see a dog, I'm totally cool with it. In fact, it probably makes me happier. I love seeing dogs, but, like, if it bothers somebody else and it gets under their skin and it prevents those people from going to that restaurant, then the restaurant might be killing business, you know? So, like, that's why I'm all right with the rule.
I think the caveat is if they're rabid. That's probably the determining factor.
Is it rude to eat a hot dog in front of the dog? Ooh. Anyway, what do you guys have for the Eagles?
So we got this thing called the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz. We're going to give away Birds tickets, and that'll start tomorrow morning. So we got a pair for the game to give away. Yeah, we're excited about it. People need to tune in each day at a quarter after the hour, and we give a keyword, and then you enter for your chance to win. So it should be pretty fun.
Oh, I'm going to stay home.
Yeah, you should.
Absolutely.
It's like the most expensive NFC championship.
Yes. I know. There were thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you sometime.
You got it. All right, take care,
Wednesday,
guys.
January
We'll see you next Wednesday. All right, let's see. So quickly, I kind of glossed over that, but if you're not aware, we're doing the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz, and starting tomorrow at 6:15, we're going to try to aim for the quarters after the hour, 6 all the way to 10:15. We're going to give away a keyword, and then you enter it at PrestonandSteve.com. That will be your official entry to win. And not unlike when you go to a raffle, the more tickets you put into that bag, the better your chance at winning. So each time you enter is another entry into winning tickets. And we have a couple of passes for the Philly tailgate, for the Philly Sports Trips tailgate. Pre-game tailgate. Snack Time's going to be playing. There's food, drink, heated tent. This whole thing's going to be awesome.
We know for a fact, and you know for a fact, too, we talk about nobody does a better job than do they for putting on any sort of tailgating or any sports appreciation event.
Yeah, so they do it out of the Jetro lot, and that's like right there on Patterson Avenue. And you're right. I mean, they do it all right.
Yeah.
And, they got live entertainment and food and drink and all the fun stuff.
So that starts tomorrow. Get ready for it. All right, it's time for the B-File. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Special Olympics Pennsylvania, inviting you to get Freezing for a Reason. The 2025 Polar Plunge is February 1st, Citizens Bank Park. And for more information or to register, visit phillyplunge.org. That's phillyplunge.org. Will begin in, I think this was in Seattle. No, I'm sorry, it was in Mobile, Alabama. A Tillman's Corner Starbucks employee required stitches and vaccinations last week after a customer's pet monkey leaped into her service window, ran up her arm and head, and began biting her.
We just talked about this, right? This dogs and animals?
Yes. So the attack reportedly ended when a coworker grabbed the animal and threw it back out of the drive-thru.
Friggin' monkey.
With the police department were called to respond to an incident where officers learned that a customer's pet monkey leapt from the vehicle and ran through the window and attacked an employee.
Where's my latte?
Another employee was able to pull the monkey from the other employee. The monkey then re-entered the customer's vehicle before the customer drove away.
You little monkey.
The customer
You're a monkey, are you?
and the monkey left the establishment by the time police arrived, and the county health department was notified about the animal bite. The owner of the animal could face charges. It remains an active animal investigation. The employee that the monkey attacked, who has to remain unnamed, sustained bite marks on her hands and a laceration to her ear, which required stitches.
Yeah, the things get vicious.
She said, I was working in the drive-thru and the lady came through with 2 monkeys in her car. I've never interacted with her before, and I had her drink ready. They pulled up to the window, and as soon as she rolled down the window, one monkey jumped out and ran up to my hand and started gnawing on it.
Bongo, kill!
They said the staff was in shock because they weren't expecting the monkey to jump from the car. She said that the monkey began biting her and hitting her, and then ran up her arm and jumped onto her head. She said, bit my ear. I don't remember this, but one of my coworkers took it off my head and threw it out the window.
They have to have footage of that, right? They have cameras that do the drive-thru.
Yeah, I don't know. She said that the customer, who she later learned was Tammy Elaine Gardner, came into the restaurant to check on the employee and discuss the incident. However, the employee said Gardner declined to leave her information or provide her name before leaving. So she is going to face some charges.
Sorry about my monkey.
A pair of young siblings who were reported missing in Ohio in October were just found this month thousands of miles away in Iceland, according to the U.S. Marshal Service.
Oh, my God.
The children are 8 and 9 years old. Icelandic police found them at a hotel in the country's capital of Reykjavik. Is that how you say it? Yep. And a family member reported the children missing to Canton police on October 25th. The children's mother had apparently stopped taking her mental health medication and abandoned her apartment, and the children stopped attending school. Police eventually requested the assistance of the marshals. The search also included assistance from the State Department, Interpol, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and authorities in England and Iceland. Man, they called out everybody. The children's mother took them to London, the island of Jersey in the English Channel, and a remote fishing village in Iceland before they were found in Reykjavik. The children were placed in the care of Iceland Social Services until a trusted family member could get them.
Were there any indications they'd been mistreated at all?
Not in this story that I've read, Steve. It says the mother was placed in a hospital where she will remain until she is well enough to travel back to the U.S. Reykjavik, by the way, is nearly 3,000 miles away from Canton. Wow. Listen to this story, man. A daredevil passenger is lucky to be alive after clinging on to a high-speed train for miles that rocketed along at over 170 miles an hour.
All right, so do yourself a favor sometimes. Stick your head out the window going 35, 40 miles an hour. Yeah.
And then multiply that by 135. So the 40-year-old Hungarian commuter had been riding on the Intercity Express train, which was traveling cross country from Munich to Lübeck, when he decided to take a smoke break at the station in Ingolstadt.
I'll just cling to the side of the train.
However, he spent too long puffing away on the cigarette, and the locomotive's door closed, threatening to strand him at the stop. So, in a split-second decision, he decided to jump onto the bracket between two of the cars like something out of an action movie.
Jesus.
The train then sped away at 175 miles an hour, making it 20 miles with him hanging on for dear life before witnesses saw him and alerted the authorities.
Sure, I told you I could do it.
The conductor then brought the vehicle to a halt. A police officer from the state police also happened to be traveling with the train and found the 40-year-old Hungarian passenger and brought him onto the train after all this had happened.
I assume by that time he'd eaten 5 or 6 pounds of bugs.
Yeah, maybe. I think we have audio of him.
Guys, look, I want to show you something because sometimes people are telling me I'm not wearing the right gear to go on the mountain.
However, for riding a bullet train, no problem.
The traveler who
It was
was
going very fast.
amazingly unharmed was subsequently removed, and the train continued on its way. He was then handed over to authorities in Nuremberg.
Well, that's what I get for smoking.
While being questioned, he claimed that he had left his luggage on board the train during a cigarette break, and he didn't want to lose it. All right, and then we'll do one more story, and then we will wrap it up. Let's end with this one. I love this one. Aaron Michael Yerema says he got carried away when he caused over $1 million in damage to the city of Winnipeg's Deacon Reservoir water treatment plant after he drove an excavator into vehicles, equipment, and buildings. And he said at his hearing, "I love my city. I regret what I did." Yerema has pleaded guilty to dangerous operation of a motor vehicle.
I was having a down day.
He also pleaded to a separate charge of assaulting a peace officer after he spit at an officer while jailed for sexual interference and sexual assault. That was in a different case. The prosecution said Yerema did not deny damaging the water treatment plant, but did, and listen to this, justify and minimize the damages by indicating fault with the owner for leaving the keys in the ignition of the excavator.
You know I'm stupid.
He said any big kid is going to play demolition derby.
Yeah, you should take some ownership of this, buddy.
That's his defense. In the pre-sentence
You
report,
should expect a moron like me is going to come along.
they said he had used crack cocaine and methamphetamine within the 24 hours prior to the offense. 5 building city equipment like backhoes and skid steers and several employee vehicles were damaged during the rampage. Damages total over, like I said, $1 million. When officers arrived at the treatment plant about 4 a.m., they witnessed him driving the excavator in a reckless manner, attempting to damage the building. They ordered him on loudspeaker to stop and turn off the machine, but he refused to do that. And the court heard police had jumped on board, hit the doors of the excavator with their batons, eventually threatened to use a stun gun on the man. They were finally able to open the equipment's door. They tried to remove the man, but he refused to get out of the excavator and spit on one of the officers' vests in the process. So
I just smoke crack. I hope you understand.
Facing some serious issues. And there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file. By the way, the clip of this guy.
So look what I have today. Look here. This is protecting my ankles so I can go through the snow. In Austria, we call those Gamaschen.
And so he is considered the happiest guy on the internet. He is an Austrian. He's a super good-looking guy.
Like ripped, like male model level.
And he's going to be on our show tomorrow.
Ah, nice.
Yep,
Very cool.
He's joining us around this time.
I want to hear if he, if in
morning.
casual speech he is that way.
That much.
Yep, if he's
if it's just a yeah, I am the guy in the video.
Yeah. So we will find out tomorrow.
Guys, I want to show you something because
I love this guy.
Hey, good for him, man.
All right, we are going to take ourselves another quick break. We'll come back in a moment. Don't forget, a little less than an hour from now, our buddy John Clark from NBC 10 is stopping by. We're going to talk birds this weekend, obviously, and we'll get into a few other things, too. Concert announcement coming up with music news as well. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
It's a freaking nightmare.
I tried to do it in the most healthy way possible. So when people think, "Oh God, you got to gain 30 pounds," oh poor you, like it's not like all the things you crave are on the menu. None of those things were things that I got to eat. I didn't.
The fun stuff.
I was eating, a dozen eggs with a dozen pieces of bacon, 2-3 bowls of white rice, drinking olive oil out of a glass, and then I'd have a steak, and then right after that meal. 2 hours later, you get a knock on the door and you got to eat again. And you got to pound another meal. So from 7,000 calories a day for the first 2 weeks to then 11,000 calories for the last 4 weeks. It was terrible. And it was all like sodiums, starches, stuff to
that's
get you
not
bloated.
healthy.
Yeah, no.
Not healthy at all.
I can't believe you guys do that. Like, because we have a friend, Rob McElhenney, did it for a role too.
It's always sunny.
He
Yeah.
did it for a laugh.
He did it for a laugh. But
And he said what Wancha said. It was a nightmare packing on that weight.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to lose it because then you got to be disciplined, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to say no, but to pack it in when you're already stuffed, that's just the worst.
Do you know the book or the movie called Diary of a City Priest? It's based on a guy named Father John McNamee, and it was set here in Philadelphia as well. It's sort of like what Casey was bringing up. And the movie was starring David Morse. And when watching Father Stu, it sort of reminded me of these people that find ways to do good for people who really need it, who need to find some salvation and don't know where else to turn. So if you like doing this role with Father Stu, I highly recommend Diary of a City Priest.
Yeah, I definitely checked that out. I'm a big fan of Dave Morris too. But it's one of those things where Stu, like, he was so effective, especially like in his prison ministry. When he would go and talk to the inmates, because he was one of those guys.
Yeah.
So he could just tell them how it was. And we all know people who have made bad decisions, and if they feel like nobody cares, then what are they going to live for? We have to remind people that we're not going to give up on them. Nobody's beyond redemption. You see the good in people, and accepting people for who they are. So
it's so important. Yeah, that's what Christmas Carol is my favorite book of all time because of that. You have someone who is, everyone's deemed beyond help. This guy's gone, and he does have redemption. And sometimes you just need someone to extend a hand and say, okay, we're going to work on this. And that's what this whole movie is about. I love that he has almost a false, not a completely false start, Father Stu, to his embracing of becoming a priest. But it all becomes clear, as I said before, when he has another step in it, this disease that he gets that really, what does it really come down to? And it seems to me that you in your life have gone through, you've hit that point where you are all in now. Was that a hard process, or did you have a kind of a switch flick moment as Father Stu had?
No, I've always been, ever since a young age when I started refocusing on my faith, good things started happening for me. I'm a guy who's super disciplined and routine, and I've got a lot of gratitude. I'm like, okay, if this is working, I'm sticking with this. I'm not going to veer off of the plan at all. And then I realized, of course, all these things are happening for a reason. I'm being put in this position for a reason. The story's coming to me for a reason. And so to be able to then focus on doing the greater good and figuring out what my purpose is and how I utilize all the talents that I have and the position that I'm in to do something great and help people and inspire people to do more. And that's why I'm hearing now all these great stories. I can imagine if this movie works, I really want to focus on doing a lot more faith-based content, things that'll bring people together. Hopefully people will come to me with great stories. Young filmmakers will come with their ideas, and I'll be able to help them make their movies and get these kind of projects out there.
It helps people.
And then also doing more things just behind the scenes without going and talking about it, because, the left hand's not supposed to know what the right hand's doing. We're supposed to be doing things out of the goodness of our heart, not for a pat on the back. But it's also, it's important to have the conversation, especially in this day and age when there's so much focus and emphasis on negativity and people being so judgmental without really, and we all have our own stuff. We all have our own issues, and it'd be a shame for somebody to go and affect somebody else's life knowing they have stuff. That's a bad situation.
Yeah, the inclination just to dismiss people in their entirety it's got to change. It's how I think that's how we all heal when we start to do what you just said.
Casey mentioned your work ethic and how busy you are. Do you ever take breaks? You ever go on a little downtime?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's golf. It's golf, right?
But golf. I get that. I get that time every day. I wake up with my prayer routine and reading scripture, and then I kind of work out. And then if I'm lucky, I wake the kids up, I'll go play golf in 2 hours or less. I have that time to myself, and then I kind of work for the rest of the day. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer after I finish a movie in July and go up to our lake house in Gaza Ranch and play golf and hang out with the kids. And
You're my kind of golfer, by the way. I'm like a Sunday morning, crack of dawn.
Yeah,
a
let it
little
rip.
under 2 hours. I can play 18 holes.
Yeah,
Love
you
it.
got too much stuff to do. I mean,
You do a lot of praying on the course, I assume, right?
Please God,
pray
go
to
in.
make this
Please
fun.
God, go.
Yeah, it's funny because my wife was just give me an earful. She was like, you know, Brendan, my youngest son now is playing golf too, which is the greatest thing ever.
Totally.
And it annoys my wife so much because now she can never say no to me going to play because both of my sons are playing.
Bonding time.
So he's like, Mom, Dad even rushes on the golf course. And she's like, you know how bad that is? You're rushing on the golf course. I said, whoa. I said, do you know why I rush on the golf course? She's like, no, why? I said, because you call me every 10 minutes going, where are you? Why are you taking so long? Get home. So I purposely stopped playing in the middle of the day with my friends and playing the 4-hour golf round.
Right.
And I started playing first thing, crack of dawn, like a crazy person for you. It's only for you.
Mark, there are certain scenes in certain movies that will just always bring a smile to my face. And there's a scene in Ted 2 where you guys are doing the Law and Order theme. And they started... yes. And
hey, you lawyer guy.
They were advertising Law and Order: The Return during the Super Bowl this year pretty heavily, and I could not hear your voice and Seth MacFarlane's voice every time the spot came on. So I just want to thank you publicly for doing that scene.
Wow, thank you.
Well, I got to put in for the stripper name. When you run the stripper names, it's a perennial. My wife and I, that's a perennial. So
Well, there's a lot we could thank you for, but you do have to get going. So we're just going to remind people that Father Stew is in theaters April 13th. It's a great film. And if you get a chance, please go soon. It's great to have you here in person. Thanks for stopping by,
likewise.
man.
It's nice to actually get into the studio again, see people one-on-one, face-to-face. I mean, this pandemic has been tough on everybody. So
I hear you, man.
Well, the movie came at the right time.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Mark Wahlberg.
Can't understand the words. Can you understand them?
Yeah, the mix is.
I heard something about Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I can give you the
Well, I mean, it's accurate to Nicki Minaj. I mean,
seriously. I heard Iceworks.
Wait a minute. No, that's from Star Wars. I hear a character from one of the movies. What is it?
I know what you're talking about.
It's the dude with the butt face, the vagina face.
Oh, yeah. In the cantina.
Oh, yeah. In the cantina.
You'll be dead.
What?
Your face looks like a vagina.
I'll be careful.
A vagina.
What?
A woman's vagina. That's what your face looks like.
Kathy, you've never seen the vagina?
Your face looks like a woman's vagina, is what I'm attempting to say. On this planet, it's probably the norm, but where I come from, we would be sexually aroused by your face. You understand? I'll forget it.
It's Alec Guinness's
See,
birthday today.
on my planet, we would say face effing, but we could do that with you. I'll forget it.
He doesn't understand. And welcome back from the weekend. Yesterday was just wonderful and didn't even rain as much as I thought it was going to.
So I've learned that even if they say it's going to rain, I don't know, it's been breaking in our favor lately the last couple times. So, it was wonderful. How energizing is that when you step out and it's like that?
We went out, my daughter and son and I went out and hit a couple of parks. We went to Valley Forge, we went to the Audubon Society's sanctuary. And walked around outside for a while. And just we were taking in the smells. Like when you get out into the areas, into the woods and so on, and you get these scents. It's just great, man. Makes you feel good.
It's funny you should say that because I said, warm weather has, and obviously there are reasons. There's obvious reasons. Things are warming up and you're getting that smell. But the second you step outside, it just smells like spring. Yeah. It smells good.
It's just so inviting.
Preston, are you enjoying nature? It's so nice, isn't it? Your walks with your family will be remembered forever.
Yeah.
Please drink it in.
And I posted this on Instagram yesterday. We found a used Trojan condom wrapper Right by one of the cannons.
Did you think it was a Civil War condom?
I think it was, and that's why we left it. We felt that maybe it was important to leave that piece of history right there where it was.
Yeah.
Plus, we didn't want to touch it because there might have been some kind of who knows what, and I didn't have any gloves or anything.
Well, that could have been Lincoln's condom.
It could have been. Well, maybe Washington. Yeah, you never know. It was made out of wood.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was stuffed with wood.
It was a wood rubber. No.
My dearest wife, sex has become so painful since I started using those wooden condoms. Sorry about the splinters last night.
But anyhow, getting outside, oh man, it was something else. After surviving an overdose, a woman returns to her childhood home to confront her personal demons, but instead discovers a real one in Matriarch. Here star Kate Dickey explains who her character is.
Is not what she appears on the surface.
Slightly Scottish, you think?
Possibly, I'm not sure.
She has a whole different agenda going on as well. But it unfolds into something that you're maybe not quite expecting.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's one of the thickest I've ever heard.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can we play that again?
Instead of two, she says tay.
Yeah.
Is not what she appears on the surface. And she has a whole different agenda going on as well. But it unfolds into something that you're maybe not quite expecting.
Yeah,
I love a hardcore Scottish accent.
And that is hardcore.
That is thick.
Though I'll have to see the movie and see, because a lot of times, as amazing as it is, someone with an accent that thick can peel it back, and you wouldn't know.
So Matriarch is out on Hulu now.
Where are you from?
Is not what she appears on the surface. And she has a whole different agenda going on as well. But it unfolds into something that you're maybe not quite expecting.
It's like a Simpsons character.
I know.
Totally.
Holy crap.
Groundskeeper Willie.
All right, next clip. Here we go. In Ticket to Paradise, a divorced couple teams up to stop their daughter from making the same mistake they think they made 25 years ago. And then this clip star George Clooney explains why he and co-star Julia Roberts never dated.
Is not what she appears on the surface. And she has a whole different agenda going on as well.
Before we do the bizarre file, I should play that piece of audio.
Okay. It's real short.
It's very, very quick. It's not an audio illusion or anything like that. But we don't know where this is. Thanks, Kath. Real quick, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do a shout out and a butt plug. I got this from Mackenzie Ginter, and she says, hey, my sister Samantha and I listen to your show every morning on our way to school. We've definitely bonded much more listening to the Bizarre Files as we rate them every day from least bizarre to most.
I like that.
And her birthday is today, the 21st. Actually, it was yesterday. And all she asked for was a shout out after she heard it one day while we were listening. She's 11 and thinks it's the funniest thing. Thank you so much. We love your station. So here's your shout out and happy birthday to you, Samantha.
It's adorable.
Here's a plug. Says, hey, Presbo, can I get a butt plug for a benefit for a great family? Dan and Kate Palladino recently had a son, Callan, who was born on the 21st of November with a rare heart condition. He's a fighter and overcoming many complications, but in the effort to have a normal life, he will need several life-saving surgeries. The first of many is going to need to take place at Stanford in California. We're holding a benefit for this amazing family to help the aid of in the cost of Bill's medical travel, since Kate will not be able to return to work after accompanying Callan during the journey. They have two daughters, Cadence and Braylon. These are all great names, by the way. Which Dan will need to stay back to care for. They said they're always the first to volunteer and help out people in need, so they want to help them out. I sent this to you, Nick. Is it on the community page?
You betcha.
All right, PrestonandSteve.com. You'll find the community page there. This is courtesy of Nick and Gabrielle Canzanese, and they said they love our show and wanted to pass that along. So check over at PrestonandSteve.com, the community page. Always great events that are there that help out people who really are in some need. So we wanted to pass along that little butt plug. Time to expand our minds, dear friends. Let's go to school to the Just Sayin Institute.
The Just Sayin Institute, home of the newly established Pedrickton Town Tourism and Info Center.
What was that?
Pedrick Town.
Oh, Pedrick Town.
Yep.
Place Kathy knew
morning.
never existed until a traffic report. All right, so we have medical studies and tests and surveys and things that have to do with discoveries and so on. So I'm going to start with this one. A team of robotists at Sony Computer Science Laboratories and the Neuropiano Institute in Kyoto, Japan.
Neuropiano.
Reports that a robotic exoskeleton strapped to the top of a piano player's hand allowed it to control the player's fingers during speed exercises, leading to improvements in playing fast-moving piano tunes. The group conducted experiments with their exoskeleton hand robot with more than 100 trained piano players.
Just let the machine control your body.
Prior research and anecdotal evidence have shown that most musicians reach a plateau in their playing ability after long periods of practice, especially for instruments that require high-speed dexterity like guitar and piano. And in this new study, the researchers in Japan wondered if passive hand training with a robot could help musicians move beyond this plateau, allowing them to play better and faster. They recruited 118 trained pianists to take part in the series of experiments. The exoskeleton they developed fits over the top of the hand. It attaches to the fingers to keep it firmly in place and control finger movement. The finger movements in the exercises simulated the types that are used to play the piano. Now, each of the volunteers practiced playing pieces prior to the experiments until reaching their individual plateau levels. And they then allowed the robot exoskeleton to conduct what the researchers called passive training.
Wrong one.
During which the robot controlled the fingers on just the right hand, moving them up and down in different patterns at different speeds. And
we don't have Angry Young Man, which is pissing me
How does
the
that
F off.
happen?
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry about
Angry
that.
Young Man is the one.
so you want to...
I got something different, though.
Okay,
you
so...
know.
I mean, you currently are an angry young
You're
man.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that work? Does that count?
Following the training, the volunteers were then asked to remove the exoskeleton, play the same pieces they had been practicing, see if there were any differences, and the research teams found that the training had improved the player's performance, allowing the pianist to move beyond their plateau, most particularly for playing faster.
So just to clarify, this is an exercise device basically for their speed. They're not wearing it while they're playing.
No, well, I mean, you do while they're practicing.
Right.
But if they're going to perform, no. It's not playing the song for you, but it does.
Like having Hulk hands while you're playing.
So I watched a video of it on there, and the fingers are flying really, really fast.
Right.
And this thing is making your hand do that. And so I guess that if you practice with that long enough, you can push a little bit beyond your plateau.
Yes, I can see that. So yeah, you're working out the muscles. You're getting the dexterity there.
Man, when I focus in on practicing drums and working on things like speed and mainly speed, trying to go faster and faster. And I did a month-long session through Drumeo, which is this online teaching course of how to improve your speed. I spent a month on this thing, and I did improve my speed a little bit. But after I got away from that, it
goes away.
It went right back away.
You need a robot.
But it is, that's the thing about instruments is you advance very, very quickly when you're learning how to play.
Yes.
But then you you significantly slow down.
So
then eventually you plateau.
Once you raise your level, you would have to keep practicing to maintain that level.
The people that are some of the greatest musicians in the world do have some natural ability to them. But if you read enough stories about the masters, the great, the best, they play all the time. They are constantly. Yeah, it was Sting. When we had him on last time, he was practicing.
Yes.
When he was playing some classical music. And
he's playing Angry Young Man.
Practicing. But I mean, your Eddie Van Halen, these people that are incredible, your Steve Vai, man, they live with their instrument, or especially in their formative years when they're learning, they just are spending literally 8 hours a day playing that instrument. It's incredible. I mean, how you can have that kind of, I mean, you have to love it, first of all, to do that.
Yeah, love it and live it.
And then live it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with this, do you think there's an application for self-pleasuring with this hand device?
Oh, my God, yes.
Imagine.
Doesn't even feel like me right now. Put it on your left hand and turn that thing on.
Howdy, stranger.
That's a double stranger.
Yeah.
Of course, the invariable short circuit that has your jumping
my God.
ripped from your body.
Yes.
What is this thing you're wearing? I don't want to talk about it. We're just getting bigger problems that my penis has been ripped off. Forget my hand thing.
All right, so that's Sony Computer Science Laboratories is doing that. All right, I have some other things. Let's see. Yeah, this one's interesting. Scientists have uncovered a curious behavior in humans' closest living relatives. While every animal needs to relieve itself.
You mean go potty?
Yep. New research shows that chimpanzees, who share 98% of their DNA with humans, intentionally pee in groups.
Kinky.
They're like girls.
Kinky.
Yeah, right?
Exactly, Kathy.
Come on, Popo, go in his bathroom. Want to come with me? Want to come with?
Scientists are now trying to establish the role this behavior has in social and group bonds. So in humans, according to Kyoto University's Ina Onishi,
a lot of great stuff coming out of Japan,
who led the study, said in humans, urinating together can be seen as a social phenomenon. We found that chimpanzees tend to urinate in response to the urination of nearby individuals. She said that they studied 20 captive chimps living at the Kumamoto Sanctuary for more than 600 hours, including 1,328 urination events. They analyzed the data to see whether peeing among the primates was simultaneous by incorporating potential influencing factors, including whether the behavior was influenced by nearby chimpanzees.
So piss influencers.
Urination events were more in sync during the author's observations than would be expected if the chimpanzees were peeing at random times. This, the closer one was the first urinator. The closer one was to the first urinator, the likelihood of these events was increased. So if you're nearby somebody who's peeing, you wanted to pee.
Can I jump in here? And I think could this relate to the fact that when you, for example, if someone sneezes or hiccups or yawns, it can be contagious. So when you see,
I wonder,
you see so in the chimp world or this world, one animal starts to urinate and it signals to the other to urinate. And it's sort of a cascading effect.
Maybe, or it may be social. They're not 100% sure.
That's group piss. It's so good.
Furthermore, those with lower...
Come on, guys. We're having a piss off.
In these chimpanzees, those with lower dominance ranks were more likely to follow when others were peeing, suggesting that patterns were influenced by social hierarchy.
A way to copy.
So when the cooler chimpanzees piss...
Right.
The less cool ones, the less dominant ones...
I'm going to look stupid if I don't piss like... Bongo's the big guy. If I don't piss now, I'm going to look like a loser.
It's kind of like that.
Come on, Chim, come on.
While more research is necessary.
Monkey names are one word repeated twice.
I noticed that. I was going to say.
It's the way we roll. We piss together, and that's how we name each other.
While more research...
Piss, come with me.
Research is necessary to understand whether this behavior is also known in other species, as well as the specific functions and mechanisms associated with contagious urination in chimpanzees. The researchers said these findings could have important implications for understanding and exploring the role of this behavior in reinforcing social and group bonds.
Quick question.
Yes.
How does taking a dump play out? Or is it likewise, or do they go as far away from the rest of the group as they can?
It's only pee.
Only pee.
I think
That's a great album.
We as humans and they as chimps, I think we have more tolerance for urine than we do for dookie.
I don't think. That's why when you go, you never see a pooping trough at a men's bathroom.
Honey, Kathy, your friends, you lean over your friends, I really have to take a dump. You want to go?
I've got a massive turtle head poking. Want to come with?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Let's crap together.
Peeing is social and pooping is antisocial.
What is it?
I don't like anyone near me anywhere.
I hate
when
it.
I poop.
Yeah.
Peeing's no big deal. I don't care.
Oh.
But I mean, that's why I go down the hall And if someone comes into the bathroom while I'm doing my business, I don't feel like continuing.
I hear you say that, but really you should try this one time. Just one time and see if you like it.
Do tell.
Somebody give you a giant bear hug as you're going to number 2.
While I'm pooping?
Yeah,
squeeze it out.
Just try it out.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
What is it, Harold and Kumar, where the two girls do battle?
Battle turds?
Yeah.
Battle
S's. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's go. Let's talk about sex.
Baby.
For a moment. A handshake can make or break a first impression, and new research suggests it can also reveal details about your personal life.
Oh, yeah.
According to a new study, the firmness of someone's grip can offer insight into their sex life.
Cinderella cut it up one time.
Researchers from Washington State University looked at upper body strength, especially grip strength, of more than 4,300 U.S. adults. They also analyzed data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey to get responses about their sexual behavior, and they found stronger men were more likely to be in long-term relationships and have more sexual partners than their peers.
It's not a big leap of faith to believe that.
Study authors believe this is because greater upper body strength is a desirable trait, making men who have it a more attractive partner.
I'm curious here because I thought the way this was going to go is the nature of your handshake. For example, if you shake a woman's hand, what does she perceive? If you have a firm grip, will she read that?
No, it's not that. This is they determine on how you present.
Right.
It's not how we perceive. This is just what they've found, that there's a connection. But maybe now that the word is getting out, ladies.
My strong grip is indicative of my boners.
For women, though, those with a stronger grip were more likely to have a longer list of sexual partners than their weaker counterparts.
Slut.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Look at your grip.
Yeah, I felt
whore.
that.
Yeah. She's got whore written all over her handshake.
But that strength doesn't seem to affect the length of women's past relationships. And researchers admit it's still basically a mystery why women's strength affects their sex life.
Gigolo.
They say more research is needed to understand that connection in women. The study author, Ed Hagen, said men are stronger than women on average, and men report more lifetime partners than women, but men and women are on the same regression line. Regardless of whether they're males or females, stronger individuals have more lifetime sexual partners. That was a surprising finding.
Isn't it funny that after all these generations and evolution and all this time, things still go back to who could be the best defender, provider?
The alpha.
Yeah, the big alpha.
Judging by all the handshakes you've ever received, Preston, what guy out there, because I got one in mind,
all right,
do you think bangs the most?
Matt O'Donnell?
No.
Joe Watson.
Joe Watson.
Yeah.
Joe Watson.
Almost
Yep.
broke my finger.
Yep. Dude squeezes hard.
You know what Matt does, though? Matt squeezes along the fingers.
Yes.
Matt O'Donnell does?
He does not come in on the full handshake.
Yeah, you got to lock thumbs, man.
Right. You got to lock
that's
thumbs.
that's a technique problem.
Yeah.
That means he's got.
No, I don't think so.
Performance issue. No.
I think he's grabbing the weakest part of your hand.
Yeah.
I think it would be different if you go in and you lock the webbing of the thumb.
There you go. Bam.
And squeeze there. It might just feel like it's really strong because you're squeezing the fingers. That is a no-go, by the way.
Don't
folks.
like it.
Don't do that.
I will re-grip. If I go in for a
I
bad
will.
handshake, I'm like, oh, no.
We do that again.
We got to lock the thumbs here.
So if you're shaking a woman's hand, or she extends her hand,
Yeah.
do you? I assume you apply
I go softer.
lube. No, I
Yeah,
assume
yeah.
you apply a softer. Right.
Softer
I'll
touch.
show you what I do. I'll show you on Casey.
Yeah.
When I go to grip the a lady's hand, I don't go in the web to web like a guy
Yes.
does. I grab more of the fingers and the thumb goes on
Yes.
top.
Wait, let me see.
Yes.
Let me see.
Like that.
Yeah.
Kathy, here, I'll show you what I do. This. I go.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I
yeah.
just
Yeah,
make
yeah.
this finger.
Tickling my hand.
The tickle.
The tickle.
I haven't done that in a long time. That's the best when you do it to another guy.
What are you doing?
Hey!
That's me and my best friend Jeff's handshake. Every single time we shake
really?
hands, we do that. Yeah, but it goes back to a guy that used to belong to our swim club, and that's how he would shake your hand. Yeah, there's a little bit more to the story. He wasn't creepy.
No.
I'll have to.
You know what
explain
Matt
it fair.
does too is that he holds it a lot longer than most people normally do.
I don't know that I've ever shaken his hand.
Really?
Because none of this is sounding familiar
To me, it's very noticeable. Every time I've ever shaken Matt's hand, it's a really hard, firm grip, and it lasts a long ass time.
So also there's and then
Yeah.
Down.
Yeah, he pulls you down.
Pull down. Yeah,
Matt does?
Matt does. Yeah, Joe is just firm and like you want to be held by Joe Watson.
By the way, the holding
Just like Fabio.
the holding too long thing is that can be very awkward. There's a great illustration of that in Ocean's 11. Bernie Mac does it.
Oh yeah.
He's shaking the guy's hand at the car dealership, and he does not let go for like 3 minutes.
Is that handful?
Yeah. What do you use, like aloe vera on there? There's a whole etiquette.
There's a thing. Yeah, and sometimes it's a power move.
Yeah. All right. Here's another. So we're going to talk about sex again. Why not? Hit our theme again, Casey, if you would, please. So one more time.
Cinderella cut it up one time.
Yeah. So how long that you think sex should last is completely up to you and your partner, but Dr. Rena Malik, a urologist and pelvic surgeon, has decided to take a deeper look into what an average man and woman are thinking about the amount of time having sex. And by sex, I mean
actual
penetration.
Yeah.
I mean getting it on, not leading up to. But
the whole meal.
While it's happening. So taking to her YouTube channel, the doctor revealed that the average person thinks the total length of intercourse should be, based on data from 500 couples. Here, they said this is the setup. And so the study found the average, there's an industry term for this, I can't say it because they get all funky about some of these words. The intra latency time to be 5.7 minutes.
That's what I would have thought.
And even though men thought that the estimated ideal length is about 16 minutes, the actual result was 9 minutes long. Women, on the other hand.
Okay. I guess.
Yeah.
Much shorter, right?
No.
Yeah.
They desire an average of 25 minutes of sex.
No, they don't.
That's what, according to this study.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
No.
25 minutes.
No, right?
What, a week?
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, come on.
I think the first numbers were pretty good.
Yeah. 5.7 minutes.
I mean, that's most videos are that long.
Some videos are 25 minutes long, like they're saying here, but that's just, those are professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Dr. Malik. Dr. Malik said that in modern times, in modern society, we spend a lot of time glorifying what sex should look like, how long it should last, and putting a lot of value on this. But ultimately, all this pressure can have a real detrimental impact on our lives. And what you hear about sex is not always accurate, particularly how long someone lasts in bed. In the particular study, like I said, it means the actual penetration. It does not include foreplay. That does not mean that's what sex should mean for you, but that's how they define it in this study.
So just a caveat here. By this understanding, then, the women would prefer to be, or at least the survey suggests that a full penetrative encounter should be 20 minutes long.
25 minutes
25 minutes long?
Yeah.
That's going to cause chafing.
Yeah. In a big way.
Yeah.
Unless you got the proper stuff to keep things smooth.
Crisco.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean like straight up like jackhammering.
Say that again?
That doesn't mean you're going straight up jackhammer.
Casey, it's exactly what it means.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I know, but like, I don't
you
know.
mean tempo-wise?
Tempo-wise.
So what are you doing? Building a model while you're...
No, but I think that there's got to be a little.
But I mean, if you
love making,
yes. But I'm saying yes, of course. But that's it.
But even at going slow, 25 minutes, man.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
I'm just making love.
You've just watched an entire episode of Man on the Inside, which, by the way, is the same thing that's happening while this is going on.
I'm just gonna get it on with you.
So yeah, I don't know. So, by the way, somebody had commented and said, for me, once a week equals 3 to 5 minutes. Once a day, every day is 10 to 15 minutes. So, I don't know, man. That seems a tad bit unrealistic for me.
In your younger years, you figure the duration, an hour and a half, just keep going, and then you realize, no, that really hurts.
Yep.
I pulled my neck.
All right, we're going to veer away from sex.
No.
And we're going to talk about concrete for a moment.
Oh, that's a sexy subject as well.
Drexel University researchers have developed self-heating concrete to improve safety during icy conditions.
Isn't this great?
Self-heating concrete. A sidewalk that could melt its own ice. That's the goal of a 3-year-long project at Drexel University to develop self-heating concrete, which can keep streets safe from icy conditions, while avoiding the environmental and cost concerns associated with traditional road salt. So salting a city streets require lots of manpower. They can damage roadways, can contaminate the soil. This is according to Amir Farnham, an associate engineer professor who leads the Advanced Infrastructure Materials Lab. He said, we wanted to create an alternative solution. His team developed 2 types of concrete that use paraffin wax, which is a petroleum-based oil used in candles and crayons. And they placed several slabs in a university courtyard and let nature take its course. Although each performed better in different weather conditions, both types were able to melt snow on their own. Researchers captured proof during February 2022 during a snowstorm. They have video footage that showed a slab of normal concrete blanketed in white, but its self-heating counterpart kept the flurries off for days. The concept utilizes the unique properties of materials known as phase change materials.
Yeah, which are asbestos and radiation.
So in warm, sunny conditions, a phase change material like paraffin will liquefy, but in cold conditions, it will slowly harden into a solid, and as it solidifies, it gives off heat.
Huh. There you go. How ingenious. Right here from Drexel.
Farnham said it's kind of like a battery. Paraffins recharge when there's sun and heat turning into their liquid phase. And when snow or rain or cold event comes, they start solidifying and releasing heat. The team experimented with 2 methods of mixing concrete with paraffin. Both have useful applications depending on weather conditions. He said, depending on the weather, one would outperform the other.
It's pretty wild.
But we shouldn't hold out for this just yet. In a 10-day cold snap, for example, paraffin will release heat as temperatures drop and then stay solid until they rise again. So it only works for a little while.
So I know that the second I die, a doctor's going to come running into the hospital room and go, great news, they did that concrete now.
So if
no more shoveling.
If you're designing this for Philly, he said it's not going to be working 100% of the time.
Damn it.
But the team's self-heating concrete worked effectively more than 50% of the time during snowy conditions in Philadelphia between 2021 and 2024.
So it works 50% of the time, 100% of the time?
Yes. And during that time, the temperature dropped below freezing 32 times, and the city saw more than an inch of snow 5 times. Farnham, who has a patent pending for the concrete developed at Drexel, said his most recent research was funded by a company interested in selling self-heating concrete. So he's being funded by, somebody who has an interest in it.
And I read the article. It doesn't seem to in any way affect the integrity of the concrete.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know how long it might last, but yeah, Steve. So that'll be interesting to see if that really gets off the ground or not.
Somebody commented on the YouTube channel saying, and I had forgotten this, that the Lincoln Financial Field is also heated. And I'm wondering how and why and how often do they turn that on? Because it snowed, obviously, over the weekend when the Eagles played the Rams, and there was snow all over the field. Yeah. Could they just do it like along the lines, like on the yard line, so you could see when you're on the 30-yard line or whatever, or is it just the whole field? Like, it seemed to me, anyway, that they didn't turn it on at all.
Would there be a safety issue with replacing the lawn with concrete?
That's probably. Go back to the vet days,
I think they already have it, though, Steve. So it's 28 miles of heating pipes that are dug 11 inches deep and divided into 6 zones. Per the team's website.
It's funny you mention that because at the beginning of the game, there was snow coming down, Case.
Yeah.
And you'd figure you would have seen something sitting on the lawn.
It wasn't
Field.
enough.
But okay.
No, the snow really didn't start coming down until much later on. And then, when the snow started coming down, that's when it started taking, it laying down on the field. But even during like timeouts and breaks in the game, they would have the guys come out with the leaf blowers essentially and blow the lines out.
Yeah, I happened to catch a story about this on one of the pregame shows. And Nick, they had the field covered with the tarp for like 3 days. So it kept it insulated and it kept the heat inside. But you could see, like, they said the field itself, like the 100 yards was warm. And then right around the outside of it, the sidelines was like not as warm.
Oh.
So I guess like if you insulate it, it stays in. If not, it's just a heated ground, but it's still out to the elements, so it's still going to get cold.
I got you.
So maybe the snow, like there was more snow on the concrete in the stands than there was on the ground.
Okay.
Interesting. All right, thank you, Marissa. And we'll go to another story. The Just Saying Institute And I liked the headline on this story. It said, multitasking, turning people into half-wits. Scientists are espousing the detriments of multitasking on the human brain. Dr. James Turner is a neuroscientist and is calling the concept of multitasking a myth.
Hogwash?
According to Turner, the human brain is not designed to handle more than one task at a time.
We were having a conversation early this morning, Preston, about trying to multitask, to have your schedule. And I always consider it an achievement when I can pull that off and take care of multiple things at once. This goober is saying that you shouldn't be doing that?
Said as a result, the habit of taking on simultaneous tasks can result in reduced memory, poor decision making, and long-term brain decline. He points out that each time you switch tasks, it takes a moment for your brain to reorient and refocus, which then slows down cognitive processing and increases mental fatigue.
But aren't you always at certain point? You're multitasking at some level or another.
I'm curious of some examples of
what he's
this
talking
guy,
about.
what this goober might mean.
Yeah, what this goober's talking about.
By
like
multitasking.
I can see diffusing a bomb while you're building a ship in a bottle.
Right.
That's multitasking.
a difficult multitask.
It's just more rapid fire than it used to be. Like you're doing it all the time, incessantly, every waking hour.
Yep. No, I was telling Steve, I like to plan out my day. I like to know. I like to be as efficient as possible. I like to get stuff done as quickly as possible.
Yes.
And have a list of things that I like to knock off. And when I already have a full list and something else gets added to it, then I'm surly like I am today.
You look at your life as like a Rube Goldberg kind of dent. This goes into this goes into that.
Yeah.
And I get it. And it's incredibly frustrating when it doesn't go quite that way.
And with the intent of what at the end of that, Preston?
Misery.
Smoking weed and doing nothing.
Right.
You know?
Checking stuff off so you can smoke
Honestly.
some. Yeah, I'm with you.
So I can just kick back, watch a show, do something like that. And
you need to schedule your weed smoking a little bit more effectively.
That's always got a spot at the end of the day.
It's on my reoccurring,
or at the end of everything that's
on my Google
that
calendar.
I'm supposed to be responsible for. It's my little treat.
Take care of family, provide, gone.
Smoke weed. DBH.
Do bong hits.
Thank you.
Your treat used to be ice cream, and now it's weed.
Yeah,
it's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
Well,
I've abstained. No ice cream. I'm eating fruit.
Okay.
Oh, that is my treat.
That's a shame.
No,
well, listen.
I mean, like I'm proud of you and everything, but like ice cream is so good.
Listen, here's
Still a shame.
here's the deal. I've trained myself. I know this now. If I do it long enough, if I do it over a stretch of weeks, it becomes my ice
becomes
cream.
habit.
And it becomes, I look forward to it.
Quick question.
Grapes, I'm happy to have those now.
Okay.
What about on the weekend?
No, it's been really good.
Okay.
What about your birthday?
Well, this weekend is going to not be a normal birthday for me. I have a family
gonna be so
thing
fun.
You
going
get
on.
gator meat.
But next weekend, I'll dive in, help myself probably to a little cake.
So you're good at restraining and abstaining even when high?
Yeah.
Man, I am.
Hey,
not.
here's the deal. Here's the thing about high and the taste buds being amplified is that everything tastes better. So even the crappy stuff tastes really good.
I got you.
So if you can delve into that and appreciate what you're eating at the time, you won't worry about the fact that cake and pie exists somewhere else.
Right. You're like, this celery is amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right.
Totally. Use it.
I'll try.
Okay?
I just love cake.
I know. All right, we'll do one more thing. Let's go with, man, I have so many good things here.
And by the way, as you're looking and you just said, let's go. If you're typing out the words, let's go, and you want to be excited, you can't add more O's because it turns into goo, okay? I'm just, add more exclamation points, not more O's.
So how did this arise?
I sent a text message. Well, it
Let's
happened. I sent a text to Connor Barwin, believe it or not, and it was
that's why he doesn't contact us back.
Yeah, no. But it was the Eagles anthem that I wrote with Jealousy Curve a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this song. I sent it to him, and he wrote back, "Let's effing go." And that was just on the heels of me noticing it because somebody had.
It's not really though.
You're writing "Let's go." You're not writing "Let's go."
Because how do you elongate go?
If
With
you wanted
exclamation
to do,
points.
or you could do, if you wanted to do it phonetically, you could do O-O-O-H, but that would make it not a word.
Or if you had the ability to put a long line over the top to indicate that it is a long O.
I think everybody knows that it's
that
not.
might work.
Let's go.
I've been told that it used too many exclamation points.
Who told you
3.
that, Elisa?
No, my cousin. She's like, wait, 3, yeah. And
3 is acceptable.
Oh, she was
Max
like,
out.
I understand that you're excited about it. I don't need the 3 exclamation points.
Go! Send her back. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little nitpicky, though. I mean,
I like my exclamation points. I'm
How
just
many
expressing
T's do you
myself.
use at the end of CUN? Hey, C.
I would use more U's than T's, probably. Hang on a second. What is this? It says me. Somebody pulled something up on our monitor here. Me writing an email. I'm using the exclamation point so that you know I'm friendly and excited. But now I'm using a period so you know that I'm not crazy. Here's another sentence with a period as a buffer, proving my normalness. Thanks so much. Exclamation point.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Well, I like that. I do try to sparse out my exclamation point.
Otherwise, it seems like you're screaming. You know that you're just hyper.
Yeah, every single time.
Right, or everything all in caps. Like,
All right, one more thing from Just Saying Institute, and we're going to talk about sex.
Wow, again.
One more time, if you don't mind. So,
Spinderella cut it up one time.
So, goo. Being able to laugh with your partner is important for your relationship satisfaction, and it could be good for your sex life, too. Couples who joke around sex are apparently more likely to be satisfied. If they joke about their sex lives, they're more likely to be. So if you laugh a little,
Guys!
you apparently will have a better time at sex with your partner.
You stink in the sack. Look, I want to show you something.
We're going to have that guy on the show tomorrow, by the way. Researchers worked with 196 participants who had been in a relationship for more than 2 years on average. The couples who overwhelmingly agreed that positive jokes about their sex lives
get off.
led to feeling more satisfied in their romances. Study authors report things like inside jokes, rituals, physical humor, and smoothing over awkward moments, increased comfort, fun, and closeness for the partners.
Oh, yeah.
I see that. I have Shell and I have fun joking about.
You have to
sex
joke.
and stuff like that.
A humor to me, the ability to just even outside of that, just to find humor in everything throughout the day, makes things so much brighter.
I think the funniest thing is when you're belly to belly, skin to skin, and your bellies make the fart sound.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious every single time.
Is that your excuse for when you actually fart?
Yes, exactly.
That was our stomach.
Our belly buttons made a sound.
Did you notice that?
You felt that, right?
That didn't come out of my butt.
Our belly buttons.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Her bellies.
Belly buttons are making sounds. Oh, belly buttons. Let me go get a towel.
How about this one? Have you ever heard their nose? I think we know that one, right?
Oh yeah.
You got to be able to laugh at it.
You got to be able to laugh at it. So you can't just start cracking more jokes about your partner and have it improve your sex life. The humor has to be positive and upbeat, and both people need to be laughing.
You have such a small penis.
If the jokes are one-sided or negative, they can have the opposite effect, making the other partner uncomfortable and being a mood killer instead of
You're limping small.
instead of a booster.
It's not, honey.
That's not the kind of.
No.
Those are the jokes.
I want a dad joke
that we want here.
Give me something like Portuguese.
Yeah. All right. Or Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. That's
too.
a good one.
All right, that is all the time we have for the Just Saying Institute. Lots of stuff. There were lots of sexual studies, so I was not expecting all that. But from time to time, they do dive into that. We're going to take a break. Not before I remind you of a secret text word. Today we're giving away tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts Saturday, August 16th at the Mann Center. Text the word secret to 39333, and you'll automatically be in the run for that by us sending you a text word. We'll have you call in with that later on. We'll grab a random winner as well. And then tomorrow, Birds tickets. We start your chance to win. I'll get you details in a little bit, and we'll be back in a moment.
Preston and Steve.
Graduation ceremony. It looks like a college graduation
It was
ceremony.
college graduation.
And as you walk up, this is your moment. This is your family is there. It's your time to shine. You get your name said with the thousands of people in attendance. You walk across the stage. You grab your diploma that you've worked so hard for
and paid a lot for.
Paid a lot for. This is the culmination.
And as you're walking, they announce your name.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
What? Are you serious?
Yes.
This is legit.
Julie
Too legit to quit.
Wait, one more time. One more time. Quiet, everyone, please. It's her moment.
Yeah.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Oh, my God.
Forgive me.
Julie Jerkoff, forgive me. Julie Handjob, forgive me. Julie Handy, forgive me. Julie Blumpkin, forgive me. Julie Dirty Sanchez. Oh my God.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Oh.
Wow. You know what, though? That's better than just having your name read that most people are missing anyway.
You know she was called Jerk Off throughout all her life.
It had to have been a nickname at some point, or her friends.
Julie Jerk Off.
Yeah.
Or Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
If you think about
Julie Oh my God! I can't believe I said that.
Or that professor won a nice bet.
Yeah.
Said she would do it. And
Julie Salad Tosser. Oh, it's not even close.
If you think about it, in high school, she probably had jerk off as a, I wouldn't even say a nickname. You know, they made fun of her.
Maybe even her friends would call her that because it's such an obvious. But
And then she gets to college where everybody matures a little bit and she loses the jerk off for a couple of years.
It's
and
clear.
then boom.
Kirkhoff is I mean, you can come into that Kirkhoff.
Dude, she's getting her master's degree. It's a
Oh,
Master of
geez.
Science degree as she goes up and hears.
Julie Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Well, and she doesn't. If this is the actual video that we're watching, she doesn't even flinch. The girl, Julie.
You know what? When they're doing it,
you couldn't even
hear.
You're so excited, and your focus is walk forward, shake hand, take diploma, walk off. Jerk off.
Jerk off.
Julie
Jerkoff. Forgive me, Kirkhoff.
Well,
you did very well, Miss Jerkoff.
And she sounds so sweet. The woman reading the names.
Please come up to the microphone, Julie Jerkoff, and tell everyone how you achieved your success.
Forgive me.
It's the jerk off way, I think, that we can all emulate.
Oh my God!
But there's countless names like that are being butchered in similar ceremonies going on. In fact, this very weekend, I'm sure,
absolutely,
there'll be mangled names.
Yep, loads of them. You realize, anytime we have a caller named Julie, we will have to play
Julie Jerkoff.
It's awesome.
It's the best.
It made my day yesterday when Casey sent that to me.
So, on that one level, is it sort of cool that you have, since she's probably dealt with it her whole life, at least she has a meme now that's attached to her.
Let's see. We have a caller on the line real quick, and I'm going to go to this caller. Hi, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Julie.
Julie Jerkoff.
Thank you, Julie.
Our first Julie Jerkoff.
Our first to be given the Julie Jerkoff Award. In Ireland, a radio DJ died in the middle of his morning show, the station said. Yeah. Tim Goff was his name. 55 years old. Was an hour into his broadcast when the music stopped halfway through a song. The music resumed a few minutes later, but the presenter did not return to his show. The broadcaster, Gen X Radio Suffolk, later confirmed that Tim sadly died. He was 55 years old. And the rest of the story was about people offering their condolences, so I don't know what happened.
It wasn't part of their Cash Cadaver promotion, was it?
I don't think it was. Don't think it was, Steve.
Now, one of us is going to die during the day. And we're going to die on air. When we do, call in.
Steve.
You've won Cash Cadaver.
Dude.
That's not funny. Although he probably would get a kick out of this.
No, that's just, it was his time, and it's horrific. Remember, I passed out.
Are you saying he would have enjoyed that bit?
I don't know. Would any of us have enjoyed it?
Probably.
So.
Probably.
If I ever die on air while I'm here with you guys and you want to do a cash contest surrounding that,
okay. Will you be our Cash Cadaver?
Totally.
All right.
We're allowed? Okay.
Yeah.
I want you guys sobbing. I'm gone.
Steve, I love the voice. So Dracula comes
Be the
on.
11th call and you'll be cash cadaver.
Oh my God.
He didn't sound strong when he cracked the mic today. I just knew it was going to happen.
Oh, that's the actuarial.
Yeah.
That's the actuality from the
I was
winner.
waiting by my phone, and when he started coughing, I knew it was time.
This is horrible. This is terrible. That poor guy.
He just sounded weak.
That's what I knew to call.
I knew. I stayed right by the phone.
Dude. Oh my God! To our own kind.
I know, we're horrible.
Our own kind.
Well, they shouldn't have set up the contest.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
This is a stupid contest.
Be the 14th caller.
You're the 11th caller for cash cadaver.
Oh, man.
That poor rest in peace.
Totally,
Oh,
man.
my God.
It's just beyond. It's beyond the pale.
I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about that.
All right, we got a text that it should have been called the morning show. MOURN.
Ah, yeah.
No. We're very excited to welcome once again Mr. Chevy Chase. Chevy, thank you for coming on.
Chevy Chase. I've never heard a voice that low in my life.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the
Yes.
compliment.
Yes, who is this, please?
That's Preston, who has the low voice, and I'm the bald guy, if you can see us. So I'm Steve.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you the guy with the voice?
No, Preston.
I think I'm the guy with the voice.
That was very good. I loved it.
Thank you. Hey, Chevy.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
It's wonderful to have you on. I needed to ask, you 39 years ago, you guys made the film National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And when you think back to that time when you were filming it, did you know that you had something extra special in that film and that people would still be loving it today? Because I've already watched it 3 times in the past couple of weeks.
No, I didn't like it. But no, of course. Let me just say this. When I make movies, I hope that people will like it, but you don't know, really. In fact, I've been doing recently some appearances, such as the one I'll be doing in Atlantic City at Tropicana, where I'm with an actual audience of, I don't know, a few thousand people or whatever. And until that time, I've never seen my audience. Basically, you make a movie and you never know anything. Once I snuck into a theater with Dustin Hoffman when we did a movie. I just snuck in and stayed in the back to see if they'd laugh.
Right.
But I mean, really, it's the same thing with Dustin or anybody. It's just we don't know.
Well, you know what? It's become a holiday classic, and it deserves that. But I also think, in a way, it might National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation might get short shrift on the emotional level because it resonates on so many of those levels as well. I remember years ago when I was a kid, my dad was sweating at a Christmas bonus check. And so that all of that, and I think it's captured beautifully in the movie in the attic scene where and I well up at that scene. That is a beautiful scene. How did that come together?
Oh, that's funny you should ask that. Well, it's not that funny, but we were in Breckenridge, Colorado on a ski slope shooting the very first scene in the movie where I'm going down the hill, and which you'll notice and see if you watch it. But it suddenly a blizzard hit us, and we were supposed to go back to L.A. and start shooting, and we ended up having to stay there. So the bed and breakfast that we were in had an attic. And we thought, well, let's try out their attic, which we did. That's where we shot it.
Wow.
In their attic. And I was happy to find, a couple of boards I could stand on that would hit me in the back of the head and in the front of the head and, whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's how we did it. And then at the end of that scene, might be interesting for those who watch it, I look out a window outside and see my family either arriving or driving away or something. that was shot in L.A. because if I looked out that window in Breckenridge, I would just see other houses and naked people. No, I lied.
No, but Steve's right. And I watched this movie the first time I was a teenager, and now I'm a father and I have 3 kids, and so the movie kind of on a few different times hits differently now as a father. And, somebody who prepares to make sure that, Christmas morning is as magical for my kids as it was for me. So, yeah, that one scene in particular is it's
great.
But I always get surprised that when I can laugh at the same joke over and over again. And Chevy, the scene with you and the lady at the lingerie counter, it does not. Every single time I watch it, I'm like, I cannot believe that I'm like legit laughing out loud at the same joke over and over again. And when she says, "Can I take something out for you?" and you just start laughing, I laugh along with you. And
I know. I'm not going to say it on the air here, but
thank you.
No, I love that part. And then you can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Is it lost on you at all that, and I don't, you have to be aware of this, that people quote you all the time? Like, I can't go play around the golf without using one of your lines from Caddyshack.
Fletch, everything, yeah.
Christmas time, there's always, Fletch. I have 2 Fletch sound clips that I play. You can hear these. And this one, I use those clips all the time, and it's just these little subtle things. Is it lost on you that you're part of people's everyday vernacular?
No. Well, it's lost on me, and that nobody tells me this except
us,
a sad guy like you.
Now I'm happy.
Honestly, I suppose I make those movies just for that reason. I'm different than other people who are quote comedians, and I say what maybe my dad would have thought was funny, that kind of thing. So I'm amazed at people's reactions, and I love it because he made me laugh a lot. So there you are.
No, that makes sense. There's a wonderful, and I just in research for talking to you, I checked out, did some reading and watched a video. There was a video of you with your daughter and your wife watching. This is a couple of years ago. You're watching the movie, and it was phenomenal because it's your daughter and you looking at each other, especially in the lingerie scene, and she's like, "Oh, Dad," you could just see it on her face, and you give her this loving look, and it was just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I also have 3 children, and they're my daughters. Of course, they're now in their 30s, but we're a very close family. This is where I live. This is what I do. I live with my wife and 3 daughters, and God, do I love them all. They're just the best, and I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for them. Not to say that I was dying or something, but just, I just, that's it. I mean, I was looking at my wife this morning. I was in bed on top of her. No, I was in bed no, I just look over, I peek over to her side of the bed, and she's out like or something, and I just love her.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that. What I also love, Chevy, so you love the actual describing the movie, and people are going to go see you. You're going to get your money's worth because you have tons of stories. And I did not know that the house featured in the Christmas Vacation was actually the same house used in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Well, that's right. Once we went to L.A. after getting out of that place, we had a place called the Warner Ranch. It was right across from Warner Brothers Studios. And there must have been 12 or so.
WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. So when sports stories get really big, we don't have a sports director here at the radio station, so we like to call in some experts to talk about it. So here, clearly, to talk about the Sixers this morning. We would like to welcome our good friend to the studio from NBC Sports Philadelphia, Mr. John Clark.
Yeah. You're world champion.
The champion of mini hoops madness.
2-time defending champion, like the Chiefs going for the 3-peat.
And we're hoping you get a 3-peat this year, actually, technically, in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're holding out hope for that. But obviously, here to talk about the NFC Championships, which, by the way, we do have Birds tickets to give away. We're going to give them away on Friday, and we start your chance to win tomorrow morning. Every quarter after the hour during the show, we're going to give you this keyword, tell you to enter it at WMMR.com, And then that'll be your entry into an opportunity to have your name drawn out and you get tickets and you go into the game.
The potential there is to increase your odds of winning the more you listen.
Yep. And it's going to be an expensive ticket this year, from what I understand.
It's apparently the most expensive ticket in NFC title game history.
That's
which is absolutely amazing because, of course, you've got Washington within 2.5 hours, so I'm sure they're trying to get tickets. So I think Eagles fans are going to try to make sure these. What are they? The Commanders? The Commanders are not allowed in.
It was pretty wild because on Sunday, I was at the game and I didn't see one Rams fan in that entire building. But I know that there were a few people that were there, but you just didn't see them. The week before, there were Packers fans there. They were but now, again, it's like you said, 2.5 hours down the road. We got to do our. Listen, at least price them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is the first time the Commanders, the Washington franchise, has been to a conference championship game in over 33 years. So they're going to try to get up here. I'll tell you, it's funny you say that because the only time this year where I saw a really big amount of fans from an opposing team was the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Always.
That's it.
Yeah.
But everyone else, it's not like when the Eagles go on the road and take over places like, they take over L.A. when they go to L.A.
When did that shift take place? I mean, I remember for over the course of years and seeing, the Eagles play around the country, and there'd be a nice turn. But there was a point at which it switched. I assume it had to be the first run up to the Super Bowl victory where everything became worth spending potentially spending the airfare to go, because it seems like no matter where they go, they're going to get a nice turnout.
Yeah, I remember where it really hit me was over 20 years ago in Miami. Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb era, when they started to build that. In Miami, they took over. I think it was a Monday night, and there was 20 to 25,000 fans there. They had at a racetrack, they took over and had 15,000 Eagles fans there, and that's where it hit everybody. Like, this is becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this past Sunday's game because it was really, really cool to be at, and you were on the field at the end of the game. I assume you weren't on the field the whole time. Maybe you were in the press box where it was a little bit warmer.
Yeah, hot chocolate up there. I'm a lightweight.
That's nice. But you
no flask, just hot chocolate.
You did have a moment with Brandon Graham, who is a beloved Philadelphia Eagle. We went down with the torn tricep earlier, I believe in November. There was talk if they made it to the big game that he might be able to play. I hope that his career is not done, especially with the Eagles. But you had a moment with him on the sideline or on the field, actually, at the after the game was over, and you asked if he was, perhaps going to be able to suit up on Sunday, and he gave you a short answer, but it was a positive short answer. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, and it's funny because you can sometimes read a person's face because he said, "We'll see," but he looked me right in the eyes like, "Ooh, okay, there's a legitimate shot of this." And I think he has been working towards that. I think that's what gets him up every single day for rehab and to continue this, because this is a team we've seen the whole year that had a chance of going to the Super Bowl, and now it is set up with having home field advantage. This is going to be their 5th straight home game.
Yeah.
Whereas Washington is coming in, this is going to be their 4th straight road game. And that is very tough to do in NFL history, to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. So I think BG has seen it the whole way that we have a legit shot of getting to New Orleans and going to the Super Bowl. And I think there is a chance. I think there's a chance that Brandon Graham could come back. And I tell you, that third down pass rush, when you need a sack, kind of like you had Jalen Carter up the middle on Matthew Stafford with the sack and the pressure, BG could be big for the Eagles in the Super Bowl on third downs.
I thought I want to ask you about our defensive line versus their up front. How do you think they match up?
Well, see, Washington has a big injury. They've lost one of their best linemen now, Sam Cosmi. And you saw Jalen Carter. The best part of the Eagles' line at this point is the interior of the line, getting that push up the middle. Jalen Carter was left on a guard for those final 2 plays, and he just destroyed them.
Right.
He went right through and pressured Matthew and then got the sack. So I think this plays into the Eagles' hands where you can line Jalen Carter up on the backup and get pressure. And I think who can stop Jalen Carter at this point? I mean, people have even compared him to Reggie White former Eagles are saying he reminds me of Reggie White, which is unbelievable.
Exciting player to watch. And, I think, people are talking a lot about Jaden Daniels. And, we have faced other, I'm going back to the NFC Championship game with Michael Vick, and it's like, how are we going to contain this guy, right? I don't know. I thought Michael Vick was more dynamic on the ground than maybe Jaden Daniels is. Maybe Jaden Daniels is a more accurate passer, but, how do you contain that guy?
It's a great question because this is a rookie quarterback like we've never seen. I mean, you had Vic Fangio yesterday, veteran defensive coach, basically say, I don't think there's ever been a rookie quarterback play like this. And he would be the first ever to go to the Super Bowl if he was able to pull off this monumental upset. I think because he is so accurate with his throws, but then can outrun most people, I wonder if you want to spy him some of the time. And Zach Baun is a guy at linebacker who's got the speed and he's got the instincts, I think, to spy him. We'll see. But that is probably the biggest concern, is that Jaden Daniels, if something breaks down, or they could design it, he can get around the outside and get first downs, and he can outrun almost anybody. So I think that is the X factor in this game. That's a good call.
Casey mentioned you talking to Brandon Graham. I read this morning that the Eagles are doing a walkthrough practice, but with no media. Is that normal to not have the media there for it?
It's interesting. It goes back and forth. They can decide whether they do a walkthrough or a practice. And in the last couple weeks, I believe they've done a practice. But I think walkthrough today because maybe they want to give some guys rest as well.
Could it be a situation? Let him through. He won Mini Hoops Madness twice.
You know what? I'm going to start to use that. I'm adding that to my credential. 2-time champion, Mini Hoops. For the
It's
Preston and
okay.
Steve
He's
show.
a Mini Hoops legend.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think maybe they want to hide a little bit.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts out there today.
Yeah.
I mean, we all fully expect Jalen Hurts to play, but maybe the knee is a little messed up. So it might affect him running. So we won't be able to say, hey, Jalen was out there, looked great. Jalen didn't look great, because we won't see it. Now, they have to put out an injury report.
Right.
Because the NFL makes sure that the gamblers all know what's going on with everybody's injuries. So,
But you don't have to
we'll
see
know.
it displayed, is what you're saying. Whatever level of secrecy they can maintain, they're going to want to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's today's NFL.
Yeah.
John, how often do you not share everything that you know? Because your job, you're there all the time, and I'm sure that you find out stuff, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to hold back on this. And that maybe that's an unfair question, but I'm sure that there are times where you feel like discretion is important. How often do you have to do that?
Once in a while, it could be a situation where somebody has a family issue going on or something that involves their family. Or look, if we know information and we have it corroborated by multiple sources, you go with it. But I guess once in a while, if it affects things or affects a family or things like that. I mean, I'll give you one quick story. I remember there was an Eagles player, it was probably 15 years ago, and he was not in training camp, and he was out with, let's just say, whether it's depression or something going on, and he was away from camp. And somebody sent us a picture from his hometown of that player at a bar with his brother, and he was holding a beer. They were all holding a beer. So if we put that picture out, and that player was basically saying to the Eagles, I can't come to camp because I'm going through some things, and then people see that he was at a bar with his brother and someone else, they're going to say, I can't believe this. This guy is out partying. He's out having fun when he should be at camp. But we talked with that player, and he said, look, I've been really depressed. My brother, he came and got me out of the house. He said, I need to get you out of the house. I need to get you out in public. You need to come out and have a good time. So that's where a picture can ruin somebody, and you don't know the context. So we said, you know what? We're not going to put that out there because of what he could be going through mentally. And sometimes you don't know the full story. So, sometimes you just say, you know what? It's about being human.
Right.
These are all human beings, and so you want to respect them as humans.
Here's a technical question, a journalist question. How binding is the term off the record?
Oh, it is. Let me tell you, if somebody says something's off the record, it is off the record. And then if you're somewhere and you hear somebody say something off the cuff, especially if it's somebody in this town that you have a relationship with, if somebody says something off the cuff, it's kind of genuinely or generally understood that, yeah, they didn't mean that to be on the record. Now, for example, the Braves player who was up in Philly and said that comment about Bryce Harper in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Right.
Now, that might have been someone else who was in the clubhouse that isn't there normally, so they put it out, and then Bryce, of course, went off. Arcia, I think that was his name. And he hit the home run and stared him down. So yeah, we have relationships. You have to cover these teams every single day. So if somebody says something flippantly off to the side, you're not going to be like, oh, my goodness, he just said this about the opposing quarterback.
And you're going to do that for what? A few clicks and then never be able to talk to that person again? No, you have a job to do.
Yeah. Off the record is pretty binding. And
I thought you were going off the record. I thought we're off the record, John.
You have to, though, because it can ruin relationships. And I know in the industry we've seen it happen.
More pointedly, though, I'd ask legally. How off the record? How binding is the term off the record? I mean, obviously you want to procure relationships and you want those relationships to stay firm. But legally, if someone says off the record, are you then beholden to keep your mouth shut?
I can't. So do you know, journalistically speaking, I mean, have you known anybody who's said off the record and they went with it anyway? And they received any sort of legal repercussions from that? I don't think I've ever heard someone not being beaten in court because they ignored an off-the-record request.
Well, yeah, and thank goodness. That's why I work in sports, because you do hear the stories in politics or high-level business where somebody has information, whistleblowers and stuff, and they will go to jail instead of revealing their sources in a courtroom. Yeah. Thank goodness I don't have to do that at my level.
That's why.
Nobody's taking me to court over what somebody said about...
when I'm selling my body on the street, I always ask, are you a cop?
I've heard that.
I've
heard that.
Off-the-record conversation is not a legally binding agreement in journalism. It's an honor system.
Okay. An honor system. And so you did the right thing. I mean, you've kept tight-lipped about where Hoffa's buried, and we appreciate
Absolutely.
that. None of your business.
All right, so let me ask you, the line for this game has gone up and down just by like a half a point or so. So it's back at 6 now. It was, I think, 6, and it started at 6.5, went down to 5.5. Now it's at 6.
I actually think I thought it started at like 4.5 or 5.
Okay, maybe it did.
Well, I think it went up a point or so. I think so.
So now we're at 6 with the over-under at 47.5. I'm not asking. Well, yes, I am. I'm asking you to call it. What's the score?
What do you think?
What's the score on Sunday?
Well, when I look at this, the Eagles, to me, clearly have the better defense. Washington has a big-time problem stopping the run. Mm-hmm. They're one of the worst teams defensively stopping the run. Saquon Barkley and the Eagles might have the best identity going in NFL history, to have that running back and that offensive line. And there have been teams like the Ravens, best rushing defense in the NFL, that have tried to slow them down. No one can slow them down. And he is almost like the passing game for most teams. He's reeling off 62 and 78-yard touchdown runs, which teams would love to get in the passing game. Yeah. So everybody says it's a passing league. But I do think Jaden Daniels and Washington, they have an advantage in the passing game. But the Eagles, to me, are playing playoff football to get to the Super Bowl. Best rushing attack, best defense, and they're not turning the ball over at all. And that is their recipe and formula to win. So I think they will win with that formula.
John, I want to make a musical analogy to the Eagles and specifically to Saquon Barkley. I go to a lot of Pearl Jam shows, as do you, and I know you love Bruce and the Killers. And the last few times I've gone to see Pearl Jam, I keep expecting, and I don't know why, but I keep expecting to be disappointed. They're not going to live up to the expectations. I'm going to walk out of there and think, that wasn't a great Pearl Jam show. And I feel the same way about Saquon Barkley. I'm watching this guy. I'm like, eventually this guy's going to suck. We're going to have a game where he's just not going to do anything. And then he comes out and he did what he did last weekend. And it's just, to me, every time I'm so pleasantly surprised at how good he's been this season. It's just been remarkable.
It's historic. I mean, another 148 rushing yards for him, and he will have the most rushing yards for an entire season, including playoffs, in the history of the league. And so teams put 8 players in the box. They stack the box to try to stop him, and they still can't stop him. It is foolproof.
And some of that was in the snow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And he looked just as fast or faster. And did you love the shot where he knows he's gone hitting
It's
a home run,
amazing.
and he starts slapping his helmet?
Yeah.
As he's running towards the end zone like a little kid running in the snow.
Well, I will say this about the last time we played the Commanders. Saquon ended up with 150 yards. Okay, most of that came in the first quarter. Most of that came, and then what I noticed is after Hurts went down, they did stack the box, and Saquon had a harder time rushing from the second quarter on. I mean, I think he had over 70 yards, maybe even close to 80 yards after the first quarter. When you take out you eliminate, they were daring the Birds to throw the ball, and Kenny Pickett wasn't, answering the bell or whatever. So, did they see something in that game that could make them more effective in their rushing defense?
Absolutely. That is a great analytical analysis of what happened in Washington. That's excellent. Now, so here's what happened. Jalen Hurts gets knocked out of the game. You remember the start of that. Saquon's running wild for a touchdown. Jalen runs. He has a couple big runs. Then he gets knocked out. So Kenny Pickett comes in. So now you don't have the read option. You don't have the zone reads with the quarterback, the read option. So they basically did not have to watch out for Jalen running the ball anymore because he's out of the game, and Kenny Pickett's not going to do that. So they were able to basically hone in on stopping Saquon Barkley, and they were able to slow him down. But I will say about that game, even though Jaden Daniels threw 5 touchdown passes and brought them back, if Devontae Smith catches that pass right over the middle, the game is over and the Eagles win. So to me, the Eagles have been in position to win both games. They won here. And then even though Washington had 36 points, Eagles were in position to win that game without Jalen Hurts and without C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So to me, they are the better team. But that is a great point. That's why you want Jalen to be healthy. Or if the knee is bothering him at the beginning of the game, have him run just to give them that threat and to put that in Washington's mind that they can't zero in on Saquon. They also have to think about Jalen running a little bit.
I want to ask about this Luvu guy. Luvu. Is he a dirty player or is he just an aggressive player? Because he took Jalen Hurts out of the game with what I thought was a dirty hit. He ended up getting fined for it. He had that hit against Goff in the game last week that a lot of people think was dirty. Is he just aggressive or is?
It's a great question. I mean, look, I think what happens with defensive guys, because they're really not allowed to touch the quarterback anymore, I think when they see an opportunity there, like here's Jalen, he's going down, I have an opportunity to get a little shot on him, I think a lot of guys are going to do it.
Yeah.
He does it. Now, I think Jared Goff was a defenseless player at that point, and he's the quarterback, but he sees I can get a shot on the quarterback. So I don't want to call him dirty, because I think if he was on the Eagles, we would be like, you know what? He's just living right on that edge and that line. So I think he's taking advantage of the moment, but I do think it's not cool. I think amongst players, you're like, hey, you're taking some shots here, and you really shouldn't be doing that. But as a defensive player, I mean, they're going to do it. So that's why Jalen has to be sliding like he did this past week coming back from concussion.
I bet their fans love it. So there are multiple teams in this town, and the Preston mentioned earlier the Sixers. Not performing quite that well. And everyone's running a diagnostic on it. What do you see if you're to take a high altitude view of where the team is and what they need to do right now? What would that be?
Can we go off the record?
Yeah.
Because, man, it is ugly. And it's such a shame because Joel Embiid, when healthy, is maybe the best player in the NBA or the guy who can't be stopped or you can't defend him. But you have based everything with the Sixers around Joel, and that is really tough to build everything around him because, as we have seen, he just can't stay available.
Yeah.
And especially in the playoffs. And it's sad, but then you bring in Paul George, and he's getting a little older, and then some of the other veterans are not working out, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
It is a mess. And
it's surprisingly so. Me as a casual observer, it's like, whoa.
I know.
Yeah.
It's sad. And so if Joel is in and out of the lineup and they just gave him a contract extension, the foundation of this is kind of like building a house on sand. You know, it's like we can't count on this guy being healthy. And then the other thing is when guys are unhealthy and Joel's not available, then you've got guys coming in and out of the lineup all the time, and you've got new players, and so nobody ever builds cohesion.
Yeah.
So imagine you guys every single day, you've got somebody else new coming in, and you're trying to like build the great chemistry that you guys have built, and it's really hard. So Nick Nurse is like, what do I do here? I'm trying to get these guys to learn how to play together with the new guys, but our best player isn't available. And it really stinks because Joel, it seems like his body is just breaking down. Every part of it, whether it's the knee, whether it's the feet, the back has been an issue before, all of this, he's breaking down. And it's scary because he has a lot of years to go with that new contract.
Off the record, what do you think about the new arena in South Philadelphia? And, they just spent $250 million renovating the Wells Fargo Center. I guess that the Sixers were going to get a new arena no matter what. But, to me, it's just... I don't know. It's a bit of a waste. I'm a little conflicted on it, and quite frankly, I don't think that they should have done it the way that they did, but I don't get a vote.
Well, I look at the end result, and yeah, maybe things didn't go the way people wanted them to go, and that's business sometimes, and maybe some feelings were hurt, but I love what the mayor said. You gotta suppress your own ego.
Yeah.
You have to hide your emotions, and you have to go with the best deal for the city. To me, I ask all of you, I think we have the best complex in South Philadelphia in America, having all the teams right in that area. And they are going to build that area up with more hotels, shops, more entertainment spots. And I think it's great.
Is it unique in the country in that it's the only spot where you'll see all the major teams in one area?
The only spot where you literally have every single pro team in 300 yards?
I do like it, honestly.
Yep.
I know some people have some issues. And then initially when the talk of moving the Sixers into the city proper came up, I'm like, but they're all right there. And it's so when whenever I bring people, family comes into town, I'm showing somebody around, they're like, oh, wow, that's cool. They're all there. Yeah.
Yeah, and much easier to get to.
Yeah,
right off
exactly,
95. And
I mean, I didn't hate it going into the city, and I don't hate it staying there. I think it's all exciting. But do you think their choice to stay has anything to do with Jeffrey Lurie saying that he wants to build a dome stadium?
I think it is the best deal. And all the Sixers wanted was a new arena, and Comcast stepped up in the end, gave them an offer they can't refuse. And I think it's great because that means the Sixers will stay with the Flyers, with Comcast, with a new arena. If you had a new arena in Center City or Camden, because maybe that was still a possibility as well, they're going to have their own arena. They're going to have their own network eventually, probably, and then everything becomes splintered. So I think keeping everybody together in harmony is best for everybody and best for NBC Sports Philadelphia and my livelihood.
Speaking of all the teams, Nick brought up this interesting bit of information to me recently, and including the Union, all of the all the major teams in our area. Do you know who has the most social media followers? Who would you guys guess? Which team has the most social media followers?
Since you're asking, I'm going to guess the Union.
Is it the Union?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I know the answer, but
yeah, you do.
My thought was
you think?
Eagles.
The Eagles, right, John?
3.9 million followers on Instagram the Eagles have.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think any other team can beat that.
The Sixers do.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was surprised too. And we threw the Union in there to throw you off a little bit.
Wait a second. The Sixers have more social media followers than the Eagles.
4.4 million Instagram followers.
Get out.
Isn't that interesting?
I'm stunned.
As much as the town is about the Eagles and the Sixers have
We got those international
Sixers?
players, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
don't
And
know.
then below them, us with 100.
Well, yeah, we're right in there.
I'm going to need to get a couple sources on this. You're exactly right. I'm looking at it right now. 4.4 million followers.
Yeah.
Look at you breaking sports news.
About that.
All right,
Look
so
at you. I'm stunned.
I deserve the credit on that.
since we mentioned
That's off the record.
Since we mentioned their Instagram account, though, the Eagles posted a video because they've teamed up with a couple of animal shelters and they're covering the costs of adoption fees.
Yeah.
The video they put out of the players with the puppies is
the best.
It's the best. If you haven't seen it, go look at it.
Okay.
Before you leave, I want to give some props to the Flyers because they're playing damn well lately. Points in 6 straight games. They won again last night in another overtime game. I don't think that the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, but I do think that they're probably a playoff team. What's your take on the Flyers?
I think they're building it the right way. I love John Tortorella. It's tough love with these younger players. They have really been put in a bind with the goalie situation and Carter Hart's situation, and that's kind of one of the missing ingredients. But I think they are building it the right way. It's going to take a little bit of time. Yeah. But I always say for these other teams, like the Eagles right now are going on an incredible run, a Super Bowl run. Then we will really start to hone in on the Sixers and the Flyers after this run. So they better get their shop in order.
Yeah.
Because I'm mainly talking about the Sixers.
Yeah. You're saying geometrically the scrutiny will skip up.
Oh, yeah. Because right now, I mean, it's kind of like, is anybody
Distraction.
really paying attention to the Sixers and,
You're right.
and the Flyers?
John, what's your day looking like on Sunday?
Sunday, it's going to be an awesome day. Get down to the link. We have a live hit on NBC 10 at 11:30. Then we've got pregame shows on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Then game time. And then hopefully celebrating an NFC title win.
Yeah.
And I tell you, a guy like Zach Baun, the linebacker who comes here, he was a special teamer, and now he is an all-pro. He came from New Orleans, was drafted by New Orleans, and he could be going back to New Orleans to play in the Super Bowl. One of the greatest free agent bargains in history. You talk about Saquon, but Zach Baun is making a couple $1 million a year and is arguably the best one or two linebackers in the NFL. So a lot of great stories, a great job of constructing this roster by Howie Roseman. Incredible job with all the young players that came in and having those draft picks that turn into great players. He's hitting on all of them right now. So this is a special team.
All right. Awesome. We're looking forward to it.
Feeling good. We will give away tickets, by the way, for the game. We'll get some details for you in a little bit. All right, John, thank you so much for taking the time to come by here today.
Great.
Thanks for having me. See you in December.
Yes.
For the three-peat.
The champ. The champ. Vinny Hoop Madness. John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. We got some B-File stories. They're on the way. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.
That they would use over the years. And we picked one that had a great lawn. And on the lawn, by the way, there was a toilet, just a toilet. You mentioned Lethal Weapon. That I believe there was a toilet scene at the very end of Danny
Glover.
Danny Thomas. What?
Danny Thomas, Danny Glover. Danny Glover's on the toilet. Yeah.
Like the toilet explodes or something.
Yeah.
So I said, that's got to be the house for us. And the property people had clearly forgotten to remove the toilet or just said that heck with it, and they got another house. And so I had our property people please remove the toilet from the lawn. And then there's this scene, it's like one of the first scenes in the movie in which I fall off the roof, setting the lights up.
Right.
And I land behind this bush, and I landed on the toilet. Nobody saw that, but that's where the property people this time put it.
Oh, my God.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, we are going to have there's one of the stars of Christmas Vacation actually still lives in this area, and we're going to have her in studio on Monday. The young girl who played Ruby Sue, Ellen Latson's going to be here on Monday.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, so
what a little kitty.
Yeah, well, she's a grown up now. Do you have any memories of shooting any scenes with her? Because you guys did have that really touching scene.
Beautiful.
When you were
Santa Claus.
Yeah, Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yeah. We went out together after that.
That's cool.
I'm kidding.
That would have been illegal at the time.
I would have been. I'll say. No, she was a lovely girl. I can't remember exactly what Ruby Sue ended up doing because I sort of lost track of her. But her name is Ellen.
Yeah.
And I hope for the best for her. She was terrific fun. Yeah.
Talking
Lovely
about
girl.
Speaking of the cast, when the entire family is at the Griswolds, look at the lineup of people that were in that living room: John Randolph, Diane Ladd, E.G. Marshall, Doris Roberts, Randy Quaid, of course, William Hickley, the great Mae Questel. What a group of actors! That just must have been.
Don't forget Beverly D'Angelo.
Beverly D'Angelo, of course.
Yeah. In trouble.
And
no, you're right. Mae Questel and John Randolph was my dad. Mae Questel. Yeah, a great group of really good actors. William Hickey was a teacher, and some of the greatest actors went to went to his school.
I think at that point he just won the Oscar for, was it Prizzi's Honor?
No, I didn't win it for that one, but I won it for the.
No, he did.
Oh, that's correct. I'm so sorry. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Well, having that cast at that level of capability, for in supporting roles, just made everything that much better. Now, the legend has it that you also incurred an injury during the tirade sequence with the front lawn decorations that were not working with you. Is that true?
Well, that's right. It was a rant when I was ranting about how I couldn't get the, things together and all that. And I just, from out of nowhere, decided to kick these reindeer that were on the lawn, punch them.
Right.
Because I was angry at everything. And that wasn't supposed to be in the movie. I just did it and the camera followed me. No. And I came back with a broken finger after doing it. I thought it was like made of mud or something. I didn't know what it was made of, but it certainly didn't absorb anything except my bones.
Speaking of rants, when you finally, when the dam breaks and you realize, Clark is not going to get the bonus, and you go on that, bug-eyed, fish-eyed, blah, blah, that whole thing. Yeah. Was that, had you written all that out yourself and rehearsed all of that, or was some of that just coming off the cuff while you were going through that?
No, we wrote it. Actually, I wrote it, come to think of it. And each one of those adults watching me do it, had a little card on the front of their.
That is great.
You can't see. You can look for it, but you can't see it, and so that's why I put all those words because I couldn't remember them all. It was just too many.
And that's
great thing to know.
That's what I was wondering because it is a lengthy string of pseudo profanities.
That's wild.
That were just all over the place. They were bizarre.
That's Brando had. That was the thing Brando did during The Godfather. He had the actors he was facing. They had cue cards on them. Because that's a string of things to remember, but it's one of the seminal scenes. And correct me if I'm wrong, Beverly D'Angelo has an improv physically when the SWAT agents come through the windows, correct?
Oh, did you say erect?
Yeah, it pertains to that.
Oh, you said correct, yeah. No, you're right. That just sort of happened. I did not feel a thing, just for those who might watch the movie. But which made me cry inside. Oh. I did not feel a thing, but that's just Bev. She just happened to do that, and so you'll see it in the movie.
That's beautiful.
You guys have such a chemistry, and we talked to her just recently, and that's. And there's obviously a real friendship there, and in that moment when you first met her and you were doing the first movie. Did you try with anyone else? Was it just were you kind of just paired with Beverly D'Angelo right from the get-go and realized you had that chemistry?
I paired.
You paired.
I interviewed quite a few girls for that role.
I see.
And Bev just seemed right away. So I chose that girl.
And I saw that you and her and Christy Brinkley were was at Comic-Con recently, or it was at convention?
A few days ago, yeah.
Does that does that happen from time to time? Some of the national the vacation family kind of run into each other here and there.
Not really. That just happened to be. I know. Why did that happen to be? It did anyway.
Yeah.
Christy and Bev are quite a couple. I won't even get into it. It's too funny.
That's awesome.
I said Randy Quaid is of course amazing in it, and Randy's taken some turns since the movie, but that he comedically for a guy who's also a tremendous actor, a dramatic actor, he just ate that role up. Was some of your dialogue improv with him as well?
I backed off a little bit and turned your volume off. Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we lost you for just a second.
You were saying Randy.
Randy Quaid.
I was about to say that Randy. If it weren't for Randy, I wouldn't make those movies. As you said, he's a brilliant actor. Period. And he just came on. You serious, Clark? That guy.
Yeah.
And I do a good impression of Randy. And I just think he's such a solid guy. I spoke to him on the phone relatively recently, and he was home with his wife and child, who unfortunately is a puppy, a dog. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, but no, Randy and his, he's just a regular guy. I mean, I can't tell you, when we're walking through the grocery store and he keeps piling the dog food on the thing, I'm not going to give it all away, but that's the guy I wanted.
Yeah.
And he did that, by the way, out of nowhere. He just started piling those things on.
It's hilarious.
I picked up some light bulbs and put that there to see what would happen.
Chevy, do you have a favorite of any of the vacation movies? I mean, each one of them means something different to each one of us. Is there one that stands out to you?
Well, I like the Godfather version.
The Godfather's an American masterpiece.
I know. So is one of mine, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep fighting for it. No, I don't think. I think the first vacation and Christmas Vacation are probably my favorites. But then then I think about European Vacation. That was very funny.
Yeah.
I had Eric Idle in that, and then Vegas Vacation wasn't my favorite. It was rough to do, but otherwise, I mean, I enjoyed it very much, obviously. But I think the first one and the last one.
Well, there are tons of stories associated with the movies, and I'll just bring up one that you got a lot of tidbits that you've given us today. But as the legend goes, Chris Columbus was offered the directing role for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation first, and then passed on it, and he went on to direct Home Alone from that. Is that correct?
No, actually, he discovered the country in 1492.
Oh, it was that one. Wow.
Anyway, I have no idea if that's really true. I don't know Chris Columbus.
Okay.
I always wanted Harold Ramis, and is that who I got?
No, you got Jeremiah
Richard?
Chekchik.
Oh, I got Jeremiah. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So there you have it. My knowledge of that is really shaky.
What you've given us is worth it, though. The conversation has been great, and this is some of what you'll get if you attend the screening and the conversation afterwards.
Yeah, this is going to be
thank you.
Saturday night at Tropicana Casino and Resort NAC. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. I'm actually going to give away some here in just a little bit.
8 o'clock. It'll be great fun. I hope the place fills up and is packed with young girls.
As a fan,
wonderful people.
As a fan, we are thrilled you're doing this with your movie catalog because we are massive fans.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you. I thank you for that.
Thank you
Thanks for
so
the
much,
interview.
Chevy. Have a great holiday. Enjoy the weekend and take care of yourself. Okay.
Well, you too, guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Chevy Chase, guys. I mean, come on, man. The great Joe Satriani, guitarist.
We'll be rocking St. Louis, KGN 89.1. Up on deck right now, we've got some hot new stuff from a guy named Joe Satriani. This cat really knows how to play guitar. Watch out for him. He's getting some really fantastic...
Dude, stop it.
If I have to listen to, he's calling my phone.
Okay, all right.
Then you got to listen to that.
commercial success from his all-instrumental album, which you don't...
This is me in broadcasting school.
Right.
Mind you.
...see much of, and I see some very big things from him in the future. So what do you say we roll it? This is The Crush of Love on KGN.
At least, listen, I still have never showed you guys mine. At least you're like, you're doing it. Like, I froze. The words weren't even coming out of my mouth.
There's no words on it?
Oh, yeah. It was, Steve, there were very little words on it.
I didn't know that.
Do you have it, or is it just mythical
No,
now?
I have it. I think I lied to you guys and said I didn't.
I think you did.
I knew it.
We know you did. Preston, but that's a very serviceable... It's not that bad.
It was terrible.
No, that's what I mean. Like listen, it's terrible now, but like you were speaking well, and you
I can't read it. There's no words on it.
I was talking like this, you know.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you're in broadcast school.
Yeah, there you go.
know?
Yep.
Yeah, here's another one if you want to hear foreigner.
This is KGN 89.1, the only rock of St. Louis. Good afternoon. I am feeling good, and I hope you are too. And if not, I've got just the thing for you. Here's a little bit of Foreigner, Double Vision on KGN.
I like that. I hope you're feeling good. If not, there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it.
That's me, by the way, just sitting in a booth with a tape recorder.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually on the radio.
It's
I was
the weirdest-
pretending. I could make up a radio station. KGN did not exist. I made that up. No. I don't know why I thought of those letters KGN. K-Gun.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Kevin Gunn.
Yeah.
Anyway, Joe Satriani, that cat turned 66 years old today. We are so happy he is back in town. It's been a while since he's been here in this studio, and we know him as Gay Robot. We love him for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Swartz.
Yeah, everybody.
Is with us. Good morning, sir.
I'm glad you got my name right and didn't call me Blink 182. you nailed it.
It's that kind of day, Nick.
It is.
Flooding in the streets and in Preston's.
Dear Lord.
When did your friendship with Adam Sandler begin?
We met on J-Date.
It was J-Date.
Yeah.
So a mistake ended in a lifelong
it was just
friendship.
a lovely turn of events.
That's perfect.
This goes with answering this question. A lot of people don't even know I do stand up. So this generation now, it's funny because
that's why I wanted to.
They'll come to my show and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're really good at stand up."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah,
I don't have Cedar. I have Shinedown news coming. That's what it was. I'm glad I checked. So that'll be coming up in a little while. All right. In the meantime, Bizarre Files.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by LaSalle University. Advance your career at LaSalle University. You can choose from over 30 graduate and certified programs. You can visit lasalle.edu/grad-open-house to get started. All right, so this is messed up. An Australian influencer has been charged with poisoning her baby girl to elicit donations and boost online followers.
We've heard this story before many times.
The woman claims she was chronicling her child's battle with terminal illness on social media, but detectives allege she was drugging the 1-year-old and then filming her in immense distress and pain.
It's like the Sixth Sense.
Doctors had raised the alarm in October when the baby was admitted to hospital suffering a serious medical episode. After months of investigation, the 34-year-old woman was charged with torture, administering poison, making child exploitation material, and fraud. Between August and October, detectives say the woman gave the child several prescription and pharmacy medicines without approval. She went to great lengths to obtain the unauthorized medications and cover up her behavior, they allege, including using leftover medicine from a different person in their house.
Man.
Tests for unauthorized medicines returned a positive result. Child was now safe and doing well, by the way. The woman had raised about $60,000 through GoFundMe donations, which the site is attempting to repay now.
Right. You know, this makes me think of that video. Remember the video of the mother who was coercing her kid on her lap, the front seat of the car to cry?
Yeah.
It was that's really telling about people that live in this realm.
Police had investigated other people over the alleged abuse, but there was no evidence to charge anyone else. So a man was charged in a road rage shooting earlier this week, and he is also accused of trying to purchase a 9-month-old baby and harvest their organs, according to San Antonio police.
But, you catch him on the right day, he's a pretty good guy.
Jose Israel Terran, who is 21, is charged with prohibition of purchase and sale of human organs in addition to one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So police said that Terran was mistakenly added to a group text message of family members discussing the details of a 9-month-old's baptism. Terran, who was not part of the family, responded, "That's a nice Caucasian baby. How much you want?" The creator of the group thread discovered that her uncle had changed his cell phone number, which was now being used by Terran. She told Terran, "Wrong number," and proceeded to block him. Terran continued to text in the group thread asking, "Are you not interested in selling? I'm willing to start the bid at $500,000. The 9-month-old's father called Terran, who said he purchased babies for their organs and was willing to pay for the baby in cash or Bitcoin. Terran said that he was willing to meet the same night for the purchase and confirmed he knew the address of the church where the baptism was scheduled and their home address, which was sent earlier in the group thread.
Jeez.
When questioned about the messages, Tran told police that he thought the group thread was spam.
Yeah, right.
Tran was charged earlier this week in a road rage shooting, too. All right, he was driving Monday afternoon when he pulled out a gun and shot a man inside a semi-truck in the leg. The two vehicles eventually crashed on the road. The driver of the truck was taken to a hospital for treatment. Tran was arrested in the road rage shooting and charged with aggravated assault and a deadly weapon. Just a lovely guy.
Why do I have the feeling this is just the tip of the iceberg with this guy?
Yep. All right, a Massachusetts hockey mom has been slapped with multiple criminal charges after allegedly assaulting 2 hockey refs. It all went
Kathy?
down. Yep. It all went down at the Foxborough Sports Center earlier this month. A woman who has been identified only as a player's mother reportedly assaulted the official on the ice, and another man was tossed from the game for verbal abuse.
Was there any word on whether or not this mother indulged in activities periodically?
And now lawmakers in Massachusetts have introduced 4 different bills in an attempt to address problems with assaults on sports officials. So there's a mom who got a little bit out of hand. In the UK, residents of Telford, Shropshire are livid over a proposed home community. Overhead mock-ups of the 250 home development show the outline of the community that the developers want to erect, bearing a striking resemblance to a penis.
It's always a penis.
Town councilors, none of whom are named Johnson, are currently debating whether or not to approve the plan, but responses from those who live in the area have made their voices heard, with 85% wanting to give the plan the shaft.
Here I am. And the park will be right here where the testicles are.
So a man was arrested in Memphis over the weekend after he broke into his mother's home and poured a relative's cremated ashes into her toilet. The mom said that her son...
Don't you flush that.
Adele Totten had broken a window and entered the home. She claimed that her son then took down the indoor security cameras before putting the deceased relative in the toilet.
Could that be considered a burial at sea?
Maybe. He has been charged with aggravated burglary and abuse of a corpse, though.
Okay.
But
Maybe not.
I wonder what the motivation was behind that. I mean, the person's dead, and, I don't
They
know.
might have intentionally done that. They might not have liked the person. And
Well, that's what I mean.
yeah.
Why, but why, I mean, what's the point? They're dead.
That's 2 days in a row with the Ash stories, right?
Being
Because
violated.
kids yesterday,
yesterday.
they were eating them and everything.
He's being flushed.
It was gnarly.
Or did they believe that if you add water, the person will come back?
I didn't consider that. Instant person. All right. And that is what I have, and we'll wrap up in the bizarre file with. All right. So we've been having you all morning long. Text the word secret to 39333. It is time now to get a winner. Kathy, can you give us a number caller, please?
Caller number 13.
Yes, I like it. Caller number 13, 215-263 WMMR. If you know the answer, then you've got to call us. What is the secret text word? We'll grab a random texter as well, so we'll break and come back with that. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
2 years, which is insane. And a lot of people just know me from movies, so it's kind of a bonus when they're like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
It's like Michael Jordan when they're like, go to see him play baseball, and they're like, "Oh, you play basketball? Oh my gosh,
this is a whole other
crazy."
Wait, you're the Michael Jordan of comedy?
No.
Michael Jordan of baseball.
Yeah.
Yes. Was
exactly.
Was Chuck and Larry the first movie you did with Adam, or did you do anything before that?
Adam saw my stand-up on Comedy Central.
Okay.
So he was in bed with his wife, and he was channel surfing, and he was like, "Oh, it's this kid." And I was a kid at the time, and he wrote my name down and went to the office, and he was like, "Who is this dude?" And a lot of the younger guys were like, "Oh, that's this kid Nick Swartzen. That was my first special." And I used to do jokes about my grandmother.
Oh, I love them.
And so he had a script called Grandma's Boy, and he called my manager, and I had a meeting with him, which was surreal, obviously. And the whole time I just wanted to be like, "Yeah, you." So I didn't do that, and that's why I'm still working with him. But
There's a scene in that movie. Michelle Carmen, who's one of our calendars, is the girl who is across the street.
Moon balloons.
Oh yeah.
She's from Philly. And she's in one of our calendars. Yes.
I remember Sandler called me up and he goes, "Hey man, I'm doing this movie Chuck and Larry with Kevin James," and I was like, "All right, cool." And he goes, "Yeah, it's a part for you," and I go, "All right, great." And he goes, yeah, you're playing Jessica Biel's brother. I'm like, that's amazing. And he goes, yeah, you're a gay brother. And I was like, I've been doing a lot of gay stuff. I was on Reno 911 at the time. So I was like 4 or 5 years deep in Reno 911. And he was like, no, dude, it's not like your character Terry on Reno 911. It's different. It's not that gay. And I show up to wardrobe. I show up to wardrobe, and they put me in like a butterfly outfit with like tiny shorts. And I was like, yeah, this is way different. Way different.
And then you end up playing in another movie I think is underrated, is Blades of Glory.
Oh yeah.
And you play the stalker.
Yeah.
Who comes up with the conceit that gets
I saved the movie.
Saved the movie, yeah. But that was another gay character.
It was gay-ish. It wasn't like bursting into flames. It was just like half my leg was on fire.
I wanted to ask about your fascination with bats, because we had seen an interview that you love bats. You want to have pet bats or something like that.
What interview is that?
I don't know. It says here he loves bats. Wanted to buy a bat farm in a recent interview.
Did you want to buy?
Insanity.
That's not
That
you.
is completely false. Bats are horrifying. I want nothing to do with bats.
So who
You never said that in an
who
interview?
grabbed the
I
piece of
probably
information?
did, but I do a lot of mushrooms.
Who grabbed the piece of information about the bat farm?
I don't know what could possibly have happened there.
In your data
Bats
sheet.
bats are literally horrifying. I remember when I was growing up, I lived in an apartment with my mom, and there was a bat in the house, and me and my mom were freaking out, and they make a weird high-pitched sound. They're horrifying.
Unlike anything you've ever heard, and they're making their location sound, their echolocation. You know it the second you hear it. Oh,
Yeah,
there's
you know
a
the
bat in
second
room.
you hear it. And me and my mom freaked out, and we hid in her bedroom. We didn't know what to do, because it's like, it's like, do we call the police? Like, I don't know what to do. And the bat climbed. They can fit under, like you said, this tiny sliver underneath the door.
That's all they need.
It was like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it came in, and it made this weird sound, and I just end up killing my mom and eating her. And
Okay,
I just want her to live through that.
So it's the absolute antithesis
The love
of
of
a bat
bats is incorrect then.
All right. How?
Yeah, I don't know who said that.
It was when you were in Austin for your third time. And it says, why do you keep coming back? And you said, I love Austin. I actually looked into buying a place there. Just like the vibe. It's creative. Everyone is super cool. I love the music. And you have bats. I want to move there and buy a bat farm.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I lied to that city. That was an open lie.
Christine, did you come up with that information? That's our intern, Christy, by the way. She tried to go see your show last night, but got stuck in traffic and couldn't make it. She went all the way out there to Bethlehem.
I'm sorry.
And couldn't make it. And you got a show in Albany tonight?
I have Albany tonight and then Brigada tomorrow.
Wow, dude.
DC. Yeah, I'm on, I think it's like at 35 or 40 cities right now.
I mean, so now besides the flight and you got that stuff all handled, are you a good traveler generally?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm pretty easygoing. I mean,
Okay.
I have like a tour bus, so I don't have to fly a lot.
You have a tour bus, okay.
Yeah, and people think it's like wild, but it's really not. Like we go to like Whole Foods, and then like I'm trying not to like drink on this tour. I drank on the last tour, and it was just the wheels came off horrendously. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Do you self-impose? Because my wife will sometimes do that. Just like, and not she's not an alcoholic or anything. I just want to take a month or two and just take a break.
I'll go hard for like 5 years, and then I'll take like a month off. Yeah, and it really helps. Sure, it really helps.
5 years, 1 month. 5 years, 1 month.
It's all about the balance. You know what I mean?
Great to see you, man. Thanks for being
cheers,
here.
guys.
That is Nick Swartz. I had sex yesterday.
What?
I did. It was a wonderful experience. We had a window.
Oh,
very
could
rare.
people see through it?
It's very rare. Yes, of course.
I was watching the whole time.
Our next door neighbors,
Press, we're really enjoying it. Keep going.
Steve and Karina. Hope you guys enjoyed that. No, it was nice. And when you've got essentially 5 grown people living in the same house, it's tough to find opportunities to do that. So I relish it when it happens. But there was an article that Steve had sent to me last week that I didn't get a chance to get to. And it's 7 things that men wish women would do the first time they have sex. But it's also 7 things that women wish men would do the first time.
So you're getting some assistance here, and I think at least one of them in both lists is do it by an open window.
I think so. So you want me to start with what the ladies would like?
I think that's the most interesting. Yes.
Ladies first?
Yeah, let's go that way.
Okay, so this is according to this article, and number one on the list is give lots of compliments at the start.
Way to go! That's my girl.
Even if it, and listen to the example here, even if it's a mumbled perfect breasts.
Oh my God! Wait, what? Wait,
or
There's no way.
What?
No!
What did I miss?
I get it. Just that.
Oh, grody.
That's like Casey's.
Well, that was more of a reaction than I thought.
Oh,
God.
Your knockers. Not your knockers, your breasts. Your breasts are like melons. Not melons, like pillows. Can I fluff your pillows?
Oh, my God.
Or your breasts are perfect. Or your skin feels so soft.
Okay,
that one's okay, right?
Yeah.
I want to turn it into a coat.
That's it.
Wow.
Ed Gein? No, make some acknowledgement of the fact that you're thrilled that you finally got your hands on our body. This is according to women.
I've been waiting to feel you up for years.
Even if you don't think we're a 10 and don't need to be told it, tell us anyway.
When you were our babysitter, I so wanted to feel you up, but now you're of age.
It says there's nothing sexier than a lover looking at you up and down, then straight into the eye and saying, my God, in a strangled, overcome voice.
I think it's just because it's coming from you, maybe. I'm not.
That's weird.
Let me ask you, Kathy, and Marissa, so we have you both in. Wait a minute.
Thanks.
And is there, do you like being talked to a lot during?
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
Kathy.
Shut up.
Yeah, totally.
Get it over.
Shut up.
Stop bothering me.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Make your deposit and shut up.
By the way, I want to try this. It says, try saying my God in a strangled, overcome voice. So let me try that.
God.
My God. Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
She says it's daunting being naked in front of someone for the first time. Knowing you think we look great helps us relax into it. Okay. All right, number 2 on this list is the things that 7 things that women hope for the first time you have sex with them. Show us how much you want us.
Oh, okay.
It says a bit of caveman is a good thing.
I did a pie chart presentation here, if you don't mind. If you notice in the first graph, the overlapping colors depict how much I want you.
No, it says a bit of caveman is a good thing.
This is terrible.
It says this doesn't mean pushing us back on the bed, unzipping yourself and going for it.
No.
That we don't want. But being too tentative is an equal turnoff.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
You want to be a man, but you don't want to be over.
You have to be
overzealous.
a polite caveman.
Right.
Would it be okay if I jumped on you?
Grog-like. All right, and then number 3 on this list says, once our consent has been given, go for it.
Well,
it says, undress us like we're the most longed-for present you've ever wanted.
A PlayStation!
Just thinking of those 2 little kids in front of the Christmas tree.
Just ripping their clothes off.
That's exactly what I wanted!
It says, let your eyes and fingers trail over every part. Let us see naked lust in your eyes.
Would you just get this over with?
Grab a handful of hair and pull it.
Oh, my God.
That's my pubic hair.
Grab our face and kiss us hard. Let me grab your face.
What are you doing?
I'm tugging on your ears.
You're hurting me. I can't breathe. I know you're holding. Listen, stop it. Relax.
All right. Number 4 on this list is, it says, give us lots. Queen 93.3 WMMR. Somebody to love. It is 12 minutes after 10 o'clock. The Preston and Steve Show on a Wednesday morning. We called out, or more specifically, Kathy called out for a number caller for our secret text word, and it was number 13, so we had that caller on the line. Love to give something away, so let's get over there now and talk to Eileen. Good morning, Eileen.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Eileen. We're looking for the secret text word. Do you know what it is?
I sure do. It would be snarl.
Snarl. Like Billy Idol's lip. That's right.
Awesome.
Excellent. Eileen, you're going to go see Billy and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts Saturday, August 16th at the Mann Center. Congratulations.
Thank you. Super excited. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Awesome.
You'll have a great time. Promise you that. Tickets go on sale, by the way, Friday at 9 a.m. through Ticketmaster. And we have another winner, a random texter, and that is Bernadette Frith.
Oh,
from
Frith.
Newtownville, New Jersey. Frith. That's fun to say.
It's very fun.
Bernadette Frith from Newtonville. Is it Newtonville? It's Newtonville.
Don't give me the wrong name. I'll drive to the wrong town again.
Congratulations to you. You get the tickets to see Billy Idol, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, The Man, August 16th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 9 a.m. And we're not the only ones who have tickets. Pierre Robert will have a pair of tickets to give away today. You can go to WMMR.com. There's a pre-sale password there and another chance to win tickets as well. That'll be one hell of a fun show, by the way. All right, time for today's lesson question, and I hope I didn't. Where did I put that? Man, hang on. Did I throw it away, Case?
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, hang on a second.
I got him if you
All right, Nick, why don't you ask that first one, by the way? That's the one I think.
Okay, what are we hoping might be the name for the new arena in South Philadelphia? There are a few options, but the one that Steve said, what are we hoping might be the name for the new arena in South Philadelphia?
All right, and that was uttered early this morning,
yeah,
right?
6:56.
Okay, if you heard that and you know the answer, 215-263 WMMR. Let's see if you know. And we'll do the trash while you call in for that.
The trash business is a gold mine.
93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we'll get some stories and we'll see if we can get a winner. Steve, what's up this morning?
Well, a collector's auction house is selling an early version of Bob Dylan's Will from 1975. Dylan says he fondly remembers tearing up hearing that will read after he died.
Hey!
A full-blown melee breaking out at a Los Angeles Costco as adults fought over limited edition sets of Pokemon trading cards. Many onlookers said the display made them consider cheering for the wildfire.
Oh my
And
God.
finally, Ben Affleck seen walking a guard dog that is, with trainers from Protection Dogs of America. Affleck says the dog's main purpose is to stop him from marrying Jennifer Lopez. That's your Hollywood trash.
All righty, let's see. If you do know, what are we hoping will be the sponsor of the new sports complex?
New arena in South
New
Philly.
arena, thank you.
Yeah.
215-263 WMMR. We'll go to Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Gadzooks.
Gadzooks to you, bud. All right, who are we hoping is going to have the naming rights for the new arena?
It will be the Things Remembered Arena.
That is correct, yes. I want you to hang on, Mark. You just got yourself a pair of tickets for the Sunday, May 25th show as MMR rocks Metallica, Lincoln Financial Field. The M72 World Tour with Pantera and Suicidal Tendencies. Opening the second show. Single day tickets for both shows, May 23rd and 25th, are on sale now via Ticketmaster, and it's a no repeat weekend. 2 different sets performed in the round with different openers each night.
And Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Yeah. Brought to you by LaSalle University. Advance your career at LaSalle University. Choose from over 30 graduate and certificate programs. You can visit lasalle.edu/grad-open-house to get started. We will have a concert announcement. Actually, I have two concert infos. One is a full announcement. One is just a reiterating of information. So anyhow, but I'm going to start with this. This is sad news. Garth Hudson, the last surviving member of the band who toured with Bob Dylan, has died. He was 87 years old. Hudson's death was confirmed in a statement shared to the band's official Instagram page yesterday. They wrote, "Today, we sadly say goodbye to Garth Honeyboy Hudson, the last living original member of the band. A musical genius, a cornerstone of the group's timeless sound. Garth once said, 'I found some true enjoyment in helping people get to the bottom of their feelings.'" I love that quote. What a great quote.
It's wonderful. And in The Last Waltz, they talk about, Rick Danko and Robbie Robertson talk about how Garth was very musically focused and very strict and
Yes.
sort of held them to task and made sure that they were true to their instruments and almost gave them a Zen approach to music that they credited him for all the years of the band.
Yeah, I'll explain in something that's mentioned in the story about that very thing. But he was the keyboard player of the band. The statement said, through his music, he did just that, helping us all feel more deeply and connected to something greater. Rest easy, Garth. The multi-instrumentalist died early Tuesday morning at the 10 Brock Center for Rehabilitation Nursing in upstate New York. No cause of death was revealed, but Hudson's longtime friend, Jen Houst, said that he died peacefully, and yesterday was a day of music and hand-holding. He was born in 1937. The classically trained performer grew up in Windsor, Canada, in a family of musicians. During his childhood, he played the church organ, piano, and accordion. And by 11 years old, he wrote his first song. In his teenage years, he relocated with his family to London, Ontario, where he joined a band. And after seeing Hudson perform, Ronnie Hawkins and Levon Helm tried to recruit the musician to join their band, the Hawks. However, Hudson had aspired to be a music teacher. So he joined the group once they agreed to his terms to let him teach them music theory.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm not going to join unless you let me show you guys the deeper, recesses of music and how it's created and what it means.
And they
stuff.
sort of chuckled when he first said it, and then they said, and that really helped them achieve another level. By the way, hearing this in the background, I get chills.
I do too.
I love this song so much. I love the band so much.
One of my favorite memories of this song is I was at a Steely Dan concert. We were tailgating outside the pavilion over in Camden, and I was playing this on my car stereo, and it was just like 3 or 4 of us. Next thing I know, there's like 12 people standing around my car singing this song.
Yeah.
Like people that I didn't even know.
No,
you know what I mean? It
it's
just stops people in their tracks.
Timeless, exactly, yeah.
Well, I love the fact that it was, they were motivated to write it about Nazareth, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Because of the Martin Guitar Factory. Yeah. And it's not really about the town. It's just that was the setting and these strange cast of characters that are in it. It's a brilliant song. The lineup also included Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, and Richard Emanuel. Hawkins had split from the group in 1963, and eventually they became the band. But during their time as the Hawks, Dylan had hired them to be his backing band. Their relationship with Bob Dylan continued. They moved into a big pink house in Saugerties, New York in 1967, where they penned the band's debut album, Music from Big Pink.
Yeah.
They also recorded songs with Dylan that were eventually featured on 1975's Basement tapes, including Dylan's classic I Shall Be Released, in addition to tracks from Dylan for the band like Tears of Rage and This Wheels on Fire. Between 68 and 77, the band recorded 7 studio albums with their self-titled 1969 LP and 1970 Stage Fright, both landing in the top 10 in the U.S. Once the band reunited in 1983, Hudson joined them and eventually released 3 more albums with them during the 1990s. And throughout his career, he did session work with artists like Emmylou Harris, Van Morrison, and Leonard Cohen. Hudson also released a solo album in 2001 with The Sea to the North. With the band, Hudson was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994. In 2008, he earned a Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award as well.
They're all gone. Levon Helm was the first to pass of the group, I think. Was he?
No, I think it was Danko.
Danko was, yeah.
He died of an overdose.
Oh, that's right.
And and Levon Helm had a heroin problem. It ended up taking him as well, if I recall correctly. But
turned out to be a great actor.
Yeah. So, sad news. Garth Hudson, who was the last of the band surviving members. Couple of other things, and we got to hear that whole song too, didn't we? It was just a few months ago that Joe Satriani and Steve Vai announced that they were joining up to create the Satch Vai Band.
This cat really knows how to play guitar.
And now they've announced the full lineup. Drummer Kenny Aronoff, bassist Marco Mendoza, and guitarist Pete Thorne are filling out the roster of the band. At least one member of the band is familiar with half of the superstar duo heading it up. Aronoff had toured with Satriani as part of the Chickenfoot Band and even filled in for Jason Bonham on the Best of All Worlds tour.
Never mind. I was thinking of Pete Yorn. Never mind. Yeah. You said Pete Thorne, and I went Pete Yorn.
Well,
gotcha. Casey raised his hand.
I think it's it sounds very similar. I'm going to give you this one.
Thank you.
So Shinedown is headed back out on the road. The Dance Kid Dance Tour is set to kick off on April 25th in Des Moines, Iowa. They'll be hitting 30 cities, and Beartooth and Bush will be filling in the role of featured
Beartooth and I'm Bush.
special guest with Beartooth and the spring dates and Bush on the summer shows.
I know Beartooth. There's a song on my iTunes that I have from Beartooth. I think
It's been a hard day's Beartooth.
I know, no. I think it's "Love Me Beartooth" 2 times.
The
no, I don't know.
L.A. Beartooth.
No, but I also am having a hard time spelling Beartooth.
Bear.
Yeah,
Tooth.
Maybe I was wrong.
Okay.
Back to you, Preston.
More on Beartooth as it develops. We go down to the studios of WMMR in Bella-Cynwyd, where a Beartooth kerfuffle has erupted.
Pre-sales started yesterday, and full-on sales start 10 a.m. local time. The closest that Shinedown is coming to our area for this particular tour or leg of this tour will be in New York on July 20th and then in Pittsburgh July 22nd. But they love Philadelphia. They're going to have to slide in a date here and there.
Are we correct in assuming that Beartooth has a similar vibe to them, or are they, Casey, are you familiar with what is the music?
You know, so it in Apple Music they calls it metal.
So I says
to them, hardcore punk band Beartooth, which in my mind, just reading that, I'm like, yeah, that's not in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Anything else not on your list?
I wish I didn't talk, guys.
I like you to talk. I like
you to talk.
I says to him, I like when you talk.
I mean, you're batting 1,000. Pete Yorn and Pete Thorne and Beartooth.
I've seen it.
-1,000.
-1,000.
All right. Here's a little controversy. Marilyn Manson has announced a North American tour in May to support his new album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1, following a sold-out tour in Europe next month. So his North American tour kicks off May 2nd, and he will be in Philly May 9th at the Met. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. local time on his official website, where you can also see the full list of tour dates there, too.
Are there still any court things pending with him?
I don't know about
Are they all
court. It maybe civil stuff, Steve, but I'm not 100% sure. So, all right, we have an announcement.
Hey!
This is a concert that is coming to the Wells Fargo Center. August 27th is a Wednesday night, and tickets will go on sale on a Wednesday, next Wednesday at noon via Ticketmaster, and MMR is happy to announce that 9 Inch Nails coming to town. So again, a Wednesday show, August 27th at the Wells Fargo Center, and tickets will go on sale next Wednesday, noon via Ticketmaster. It's kind of an odd date and time for those tickets to be available to the public, but that's when it's happening. And we have a chance for you to win tickets with Brent Porsche all week long, so make sure you listen up. I assume today he will start giving those away. And if you'd like another chance to win tickets or concert information, you can go to WMMR.com and get it all right there. So 9 Inch Nails.
I hear that's a hell of a show to see.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Got to have a big visual component to it. And then I'm going to mention this. Marissa got all in a tizzy yesterday because Jet is coming to town.
Yes.
She's all excited with Band of Skulls. They have a North American tour, and they will be at the Fillmore, which is also going to be a Wednesday show, Wednesday, June 4th. Tickets will go on sale. What song is this? Oh, is this Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Yeah.
Sounds a little different. Oh, it's live.
Sounds
Okay.
live.
Woo!
Is that in here?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Because we weren't going woo when they started playing.
That's a better one.
There you go. I was about to say that Tamarine's way off tempo, but this is it. Tickets go on sale Friday the 24th, so that's this Friday at 10 a.m. And we, the President Steve Show, are going to have your chance to win some tickets, it says. So listen up for your opportunity to win those. Yeah. All right.
Did you hear Eric Simon's promotional idea? Because Joan Jett is also going on sale, so it should be a Jet weekend here on WMMR.
Oh, okay.
We could do a big old Jet Airlano. We could do Jet. We could do Joan Jett.
And songs that have to do with Jet.
Benny and the Jets.
Paul McCartney's Jet.
Yeah.
Jet. Very good. I'm trying to think
Jet
of other.
City Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
Got a hard
Jet
day's
Black
Jet.
Stare. You could do that. LA Jet.
Black Stare.
Oh,
that's a band.
That's a band.
Riding on the Jet.
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We
starts
play
with Jet.
If you take the H out of there, you got
Jet Tooth.
Ro Tull.
Yep.
Yeah.
you do the theme for the Jetsons?
Jetsons?
Writes itself.
There's a lot. All right, look for a Jet Weekend coming soon here on WMMR. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a moment, and we will wrap up the program. We will also tell you how you could get Birds tickets for the game on Sunday. You're going to need that information when we get back. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Preston.
No, I'm sorry. Kiss us lots.
Here's some locks. Here's a schmear.
No, kiss us lots. Soft kisses on the lips. Deep kisses with an occasional tongue darting in and out. Nibbles and bites on the neck.
All right, so let me ask you guys, and we've heard this said in a number of surveys, that those little aspects of affection are actually more desirable in the long run. The gentle stroking, massaging and kisses, and that romantic side of it is more what is preferred. Is that correct? I pose it to you two.
I don't know. This is all disgusting.
Oh, my God. It all depends on the person. I'm going to speak up for the ladies.
Yeah, no, it does.
Some people, you need to have communication when you're getting naked.
I love a neck kiss. If
Okay.
that's where you're going for,
Okay,
Steve.
yeah.
But like too soft.
That's a big turn on?
Nah,
Yeah.
You need to, like,
What about darting tongues and that strangled voice?
Darting tongues. That's where I draw a line.
Steve.
What are you saying? I don't like that sound.
You had darting tongues one time, right?
Darting tongues?
Or licking tongues.
I mean,
they
licked
lick
my
your
face.
Oh, my God.
Right in front of you, too.
You had a face licker in front of Kathy?
It was a joke.
Oh,
But we were like at an appearance. We were like Questlove was DJing. We were
I don't
hosting a party.
Stop it. I just put my makeup on.
All right, it says women love kissing, so don't rush through it. And to get to the main event, for you, that's intercourse. Foreplay is the best part for us.
Is it really the best part, though?
I don't know.
For you? I'm asking the ladies.
It depends on who you're talking to. That's the thing.
Just get it done. Get it done. And shut up. Stop with the darting tongue and no pooper.
Kathy, we need a shirt for you that just says off me. Off me.
Now.
Off me. All right, number 5, give great oral.
You still owe me another month's rent. So if I were you, I would start doing some tongue exercises before Friday.
Oh, my God. That's Kingpin.
Kingpin?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Dude. She's great.
We need to isolate that.
Yep, we have it.
Just one more time.
God, she's awesome.
Fantastic. I'm not even going to go into the details of that particular.
You know it is, yeah.
To that particular.
Using your mouth to provide pleasure.
Yeah, but it goes into some detail, and I'm not going to go into that right now.
Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?
Okay, number 6
Just going to
says.
say that some men might need that detail, so look it up if you need it.
Yes, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and ask. Feel free to ask what they prefer. I think anyway. Like, do you like it when I do that?
Yeah.
When I go like this?
Like
What is it about good?
Oh, I thought you were queuing that one up again.
It's still good.
All right, so here's another one.
Yeah.
And I think we agree on this. The ladies say, let us finish first.
Yes.
By finish, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Everyone knows the second he's done, sex is done. It's polite and it's logical. Men usually save their last moment for intercourse.
Yeah.
It's the finale. I mean, the confetti comes out, you know.
Yeah. But it also says, but don't stress if we don't.
That's right.
If we end up not having that happen.
You, men?
Yeah. No. Women. Don't
so not finish.
Don't stress. I'm reading the article from a woman's perspective.
Okay.
Don't stress if the woman doesn't complete.
It would probably help if you said it
no,
like
you should
with a
stress.
woman's voice. So we.
I don't have the thing.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I didn't finish. I didn't like it, and I wanted you off me all the time. But you're the king.
God.
You're the best, Rubber Johnny.
Casey almost spit coffee out.
Rubber Johnny.
That's his name.
Rubber Johnny is that character that Steve was playing.
Oh, Rubber Johnny. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's from a song.
Oh, you're the king. You're the king. All right. Now I'm going to Floral and Hardy.
It's saying that if the woman does not complete, you don't have to freak out about it. So that's just what this particular article says.
Just don't give up too quickly.
Oh no! You want to listen? There, yes,
you can go get tools.
Yeah, you can work really, really hard.
I need a new drill bit.
But at some point, we know where Marissa's priority is.
Oh, I'm just speaking for the women that Kathy's not representing.
Thank you.
But if she says, "Hey, we tried. Let's move on,"
yeah,
then you got to move on.
Then one last thing, it says here is what women would like the first time that you sleep with them.
That's right. This is all under the umbrella of first
time.
encounters.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. That actually casts a different. I wasn't keeping that in context. It's like when I play Jeopardy and I forget the category. So that changes some of my responses.
And then finally, say something nice afterwards.
You seem to be planning for the future.
It says some men clam up because they're concerned that they didn't perform well.
You know, for as small as that is, I actually enjoyed it.
And they don't want verbal confirmation. If they rave about how great it was, you might come back with a dry, well, it was for one of us. And it says, we get that, but you may need, and I should be saying this in a female voice.
Let me do it.
We get that.
Okay, baby.
But
you just say it and I'll repeat it.
We get that, but you need to understand that women operate differently. If there was a problem, talking about it helps. If it was great, talking about it makes it even better. At the very least, give us a squeeze and a kiss and say, I think you're amazing.
I think you're amazing, too.
Yeah.
A squeeze and a kiss.
I think you're amazing.
I love the way your skin generates mucus.
All right. Do you want to hear what the men say?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, okay, this is your first encounter.
Yep.
And what men say they want.
Yes. All right. 7 things men wish women would do the first time they have sex. All right, here we go.
Stop telling you to get off.
No. Number 1, keep the lights on. Says a bit of a mood lighting is great and preferable to a gnarly bright room. But total darkness isn't. It's hard enough for him to guess if you're enjoying what he's doing by looking into your face and reading your body language. Trying to determine it when he can't see a thing is damn near impossible.
Do you like rave lighting?
No. But I can see that. Yeah. Look, complete darkness, total darkness, no.
No.
I do like a darkly...
accents of light.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's just a little bit so that you don't... I'm having a really good time!
Man. Okay, never mind.
Okay, no.
Go ahead.
I need to hear
Take it now.
There was one time, my girlfriend at the time and we were at somebody's house whose parents were out of town, which is just licensed to have at it. So we go up into a bedroom. It's later in the evening, and it's pitch black dark, and I'm doing this. Okay. And our friend, I think it was our friend Cindy, comes in and flips on the brightest lights in the world. And I'm like, I mean, buried in it.
Yo, do they...
And it was just, when those lights came on, it was like, oh my God.
What happens is it's like seeing a bar you go to in the broad daylight.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's jarring.
Different story.
You look up, and mouth looks like you're in a watermelon eating contest.
So anyhow, a little bit of light. Guys would like a little bit of light. I'm okay with that. Number 2 says, don't stress out about your own body. A guy said, I slept with a girl who was so paranoid, she wouldn't let me touch her anywhere. She kept pushing my hands away and saying things like, don't touch my stomach. It's revolting. I gave up after a while and sex didn't happen at all. Because these are features that she didn't find flattering about herself.
And it's a sad thing to feel that way. And we all have our insecurities.
Sure.
And once you realize that, but a lot of times again, people come in with standards that they've seen cultivate.
On MMR. Playing the MMR barbecue this year. Really excited to see how Wolfgang has evolved musicianship-wise live. Because I've seen video of him doing all kinds of great stuff, and we're going to catch him live on stage at the MMR barbecue. That show, it's going to be here before you know it. I know it's cold, it's ridiculous, but May 10th will be here before you know it. And we'll be there enjoying Mammoth and Alice in Chains, Dorothy and 3 Days Grace and all the other bands that are on stage and doing our side stage event as well. There's a lot going on. WMMR.com. Don't be left out. Get those tickets and join us for the event.
It is 108 days away. I just looked it up.
Okay.
It's going to fly by.
Well, the fact that we had last time around was September, and now this is May, and it does seem like it's screaming up on us.
Yep.
It's nice to have stuff like that to look forward to, especially when it's 7 degrees outside.
Yes.
You know what I'll do? I'll leave the Cardboard Classic and just drive over to the...
Probably a good idea. Just get ready for it.
Get there early.
All right. I would like to thank Mr. John Clark from NBC Sports for stopping by this morning. Our Mini Hoops Madness 2-time champion, back-to-back wins. We talked Eagles this weekend. All that. John feels confident.
He
Feels
does.
good. He's it's like on paper, the way things look, yes, Eagles are the better team and should win because of, and he gave us the examples of
specifics.
Our running game, their lack of ability to tamp down on the running game and a few other things as well. So it was cool to have him in here to kind of give us his knowledge, which is extensive. And keep mentioning the birds, by the way, tomorrow we're going to have your opportunity to enter to win a pair of tickets that we have to give away. It's the Preston and Steve Ticket Blitz. And all morning tomorrow, each hour, starting at a quarter after each hour, as close to it, you know how we are with times, as close to it as we can get it, we're going to give you a code word to enter at PrestonandSteve.com. And every time you enter is a chance. It's an entry. It's like throwing a raffle ticket into a basket. Each one of those is going to be your opportunity to win a pair of tickets that we have a giveaway, and we're going to give that away on Friday. So we're going to do that both days starting at 6:15 tomorrow morning. And not only that, you also get a couple of tickets to go to a pregame tailgate with Philly Sports Trips, and that'll have appearances by former players. Snack Time's going to play. Food, drink, heated tent, the whole deal.
We witnessed how they roll, and they really deliver for the people who are using them to whether it be tailgate or travel to spring training or whatever. They're amazing.
Yep. So make sure that you're with us as we will reveal those keywords. Hi, Pierre Robert.
Why, good day then.
Nice to see you.
Why do you have the Eagles tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have them. I should have those tickets to ice those bastards.
To ice those bastards?
Yeah, opposing team people coming in. Yeah. Take that.
How do you know all the sports jargon so well?
I don't know.
It's a lifetime.
I spit it out.
It's a lifetime.
I
of
grew
caring.
up on it. I chew it and digest it and burp it back up again. That's how come I'm sports guy.
The what guy?
Sports guy. He even knows the right way to say sports. You actually pronounce it supports.
Don't mess with the Duke. Don't mess with him.
All right.
I'm telling you. I got the ice and I've got the pick.
All right.
All right.
All right. And you will return to your original self in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hi.
There. Thank you. I finally figured it out. It worked.
How have you been?
It's great. You probably don't
cold
recall
outside.
the last 10 minutes.
I don't know where I went.
How did I get dressed?
I don't know.
Oh. Where did this coffee come from?
I was with the fairies. The football fairies.
All right.
What section are they?
I kill myself.
Oh, my God. All right.
Kaboomza.
Yeah, here, okay. Here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by The Letter.
T isn't terrible.
All right, and we're going to give away a pair of floor tickets to the world's most exciting combat sport. This is where he's going to be this weekend.
Yes.
The Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Yes.
on Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yes.
Watch Philly's own Eddie Underground King Alvarez fight Jeremy Stevens with no gloves Stevens.
Pierre's a cut man.
Limited tickets remain, and you can get yours at bkfc.com. By the way, Nick found this product, Pierre, which is great. It's got to be at IKEA, right?
It is indeed, yeah. A listener named Jen sent it to me, and it's hilarious, Pierre. It's called the Kaboomba.
Kaboomba.
And it's a ceiling.
Pow, 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 pow. Kaboomba!
It's a ceiling lamp available at IKEA, and so I posted it on Instagram a little bit ago, and I tagged you, and I just the fact that it exists
dear.
at all
Isn't that great?
is fantastic.
We got to get you one.
Well, I had to get a cut on that. I created it.
Uh-huh.
Kaboomba.
Kaboomba.
What is it?
It's a ceiling lamp.
Ah.
Now they need to come up with a pow, pow, kapow, pow, cow, pow.
Exactly.
And then you'll have the set. So
Yeah, that goes with the
Pow,
kaboom. Pow, 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 pow. Kaboomba. Boom, boom, gachaka. Where did these things come from?
Yeah, right?
I said Jen. I meant Lindsay. Sorry about that, Lindsay. Listener named Lindsay Johnson sent it to me, so thank you. And
you,
she
Lindsay.
spotted it in IKEA, and it's Pierre inspired.
I appreciate that. I'm going to get several of them and give them away.
Yes,
All right.
as
Street
gifts.
corner.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to give away today? When you had mentioned that about the Eagles tickets, I'm like, I know you have something to give away.
I got Billy Idol and Joan Jett.
Okay.
We did a nice double of Jet yesterday, by the way, and announced the Jet show yesterday, which came along after you guys left. And I love Eric Simon's idea for a Jet weekend.
Isn't that great?
Be fun. We have on the program Billy Idol, Joan Jett tickets. We've got workforce blocks of In Excess and Journey for Steve Perry's birthday and Green Day.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, Pierre. And I want to thank our sponsors, the Preston and Steve Show, brought to you today by Dunkin'. And the Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow, man, we've got a full boat. We are going to have the Happy Austrian on our program.
Yes.
Yeah, where is his audio? Hang on a second. Or you do it then.
You like the German singer on Friday?
No, that's a Russian singer.
Russian, by the way. But this guy is he is an Instagram guy. He goes and shows beautiful scenery in Austria, and he narrates it with, and this is actually how he talks.
Guys, look, I want to show you something because sometimes people are telling me I'm not wearing the right gear to go on the mountain.
And he's known as the happiest man on the internet.
He's in flames. But I can't wait to hear him.
Yep. And let's see. We will also have Ari Shafir joining us tomorrow. And Michael Imperioli and Steve Shrippa from the Sopranos.
We're stacked.
Will be joining us. So it's going to be a busy day. That's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Preston and Steve on